Allison, thank you. And how about that there? Jalen Daniels, a final word face-to-face with Jason Bean. And you could probably hear it in the way Allison was talking and Rob Stone, everybody on the desk. It is brisk, 38 degrees.
The air temperature, Jason, is one thing, but it is that breeze. And even the great, tough Brady Quinn, right, cut his teeth inside, man. Even he was shivering down there on the set. And that wind's not going anywhere. Expecting a little bit of weather, hopefully after this game, but it's going to be a brisk afternoon.
Kansas hasn't beaten Oklahoma since 1997 when there was AstroTurf on this field. Away we go from Lawrence. And it's returnable. Trevor Wilson, who brought a punt to the house in their last home game, breaks the tackle and gets across the 30-yard line to set up Jason Bean, who gets the start once again. He is track star fast, and his decision-making is paramount.
And he has experience. As Allison said, he has faced these guys on the other side now for the third time. The touchdown to interception ratio, you love that. Taking care of the football, premium today. But I'm looking for his explosiveness, man. He can absolutely flat out run. Can they get him an open space to showcase it? That will be the question.
This is a proud running game for Kansas. The offensive coordinator, Andy Kotelnicki, said we have to run the ball to be successful. And it's Daniel Hishaw, the Oklahoma native, on the opening carry to the 38-yard line. This offensive line is anchored by the center who transferred from Buffalo, Mike Nowitzki. Reed Adams, a Texas native, in his fourth year in the program at left guard. It's a pretty together group. And then in terms of the skill position, guys, Devin Neal, Lawrence native, born and raised, one of the key tailbacks. With substitutions, the official stands over the ball, and they will break the formation with Neal out wide. Jason Bean with his opening throw, and he's got it to Mason Fairchild, the tight end who had 2 touchdowns last year against Oklahoma. And this much improved Oklahoma defense. Ethan Downs is the sack leader, but they rotate a ton of D linemen. 21
pressures as well. They will play upwards of 15, even 19 defensive linemen on the season. Stutzman can flat out run. So can Kanak at the second level. And Billy Bowman, man, the heart and soul, prideful guy on the back end of that D.
A quiet confidence for Billy Bowman with 2 of their 12 interceptions. That's second in the country. Hishaw zigzagging across the Jayhawk, and man, Oklahoma has taken it on the chin on this opening drive, which is rare.
Well, there's pre-snap movement, then there's post-snap misdirection. Look at the line of scrimmage. You're going to watch Jayhawks pulling, moving, trying to just get to that eye level of all of those Oklahoma defenders. We were here a couple weeks ago, Benetti, when these guys ran for 400 yards against a pretty decent front seven of UCF. They know how to run it, and look at this funky formation.
Well, you heard Urban Meyer mention it just moments ago. They motion as much as anybody in the country, more than anybody in the FBS. And they fake the reverse. They throw it out wide for Casey. It's incomplete on the throw, and second down coming up.
Wow, that was going to be an explosive. So once again, all of this pre-snap movement is window dressing to get to the eye level to distract those defenders. A terrific play call there as they cross midfield. Casey's going to get 20 to 25 yards on that, just an aim. When a QB aims it and throws it in the ground like that, you can feel some of the magnitude of the moment.
Typically, the underdog lacks pressure, but these players, as Allison reported, know how important this game is. Devin Neal on the run. Danny Stutzman, their leading tackler, with the stop. And it's going to be 3rd and long here. Oklahoma is tremendous on 3rd down.
Such an improvement over a year ago, and Kansas 4th in the country. Not bad either.
3rd and 9 throw. It's Hishaw in space, and Hishaw has a first down for Kansas.
How about that tempo? This is one of the slowest playing teams in college football, that being Kansas offensively. But instead of allowing Oklahoma to substitute, get to some of their pressure packages, they quick snap it, and this time Bean doesn't aim it. He gets it to the perimeter. And Kansas shows you why they're 4th in the country on 3rd down. So much imagination on the money down.
Only LSU, Georgia, and Michigan are better on third down than the Kansas Jayhawks. Oklahoma has not allowed a point on an opponent's opening drive so far this year. It's an option pitch, and Neal is drilled. Key Lawrence was over there, among others.
Not a lot of space into the short side of the field, and the longer that Bean kept it, give credit to that front, the longer he kept that ball to Jason Bean, well, the area got shorter and shorter, and Oklahoma could show off some of that speed defensively.
To be clear, this is total yards on opening drives all year in their undefeated start. Kansas already has rolled up 33 yards.
And no points and 3 takeaways on those openers as well.
Being the throw out wide, and he's got it to Trevor Wilson. It'll be 3rd and long again.
Yeah, once again, that's just a little bit off. When you're playing the number 6 team in the country now, it is breezy, especially going this way in warm-ups. So some of these throws that have been gimmies on a perfect day, just a little bit off, and it creates another 3rd and passing situation.
Very easily could be 2 plays to get 7 yards here with the location they are on the field. And this signals that that might be true. Devin Neal on the run. It'll be 4th down and about 3. Stutzman and Kanak on the stop, and this is a go for it.
Yeah, no question. And Seth Keller, their kicker, an accurate guy, but a longest season of just 44. So that call by Lance Leipold in his longtime coordinator's ear was definitely, you got 2 downs to get 7.
Fourth and 3. Jason Bean. It's batted and incomplete. Trace Ford, the Oklahoma State transfer who had a tackle earlier, swats it down and ends the drive. Oklahoma holds the line. We'll take you to break with our Progressive Insurance game. Pet health insurance. Oklahoma gets a 4th down stop. And Dillon Gabriel, who right now would be the most accurate single-season passer in Oklahoma history as of this year at 71% plus, takes the controls. We are told that Marcus Major is out for the ball game. Gavin Sawchuk gets the start, the freshman tailback. Remember, they were without Tawee Walker last week against UCF. Gabriel to throw. He loads up and he whistles it wide and incomplete for Stogner, the tight end. So all that accuracy conversation, he's 0 for 1. He's still 71 and change.
And he mixes everything, man. Play action, RPO. That was a just straight drawback. But once again, I think feeling some of the breeze that's whipping around this stadium.
How do you deal with that as a quarterback?
You better throw a tight spiral and a little bit more velo.
Second down and 10. It's a handoff for Sawchuk, the freshman, across the 35-yard line. So for the Oklahoma Sooners, they will rotate maybe 4 guards. Andrew Raym is in the center of it all, his 25th career start. Nick Anderson, 5 straight games with a receiving touchdown as Gabriel fires. It's intercepted, going the other way. Mello Dotson to the house.
On Dillon Gabriel coming into this game on the national level. All eyes on Mello Dotson all over it. Knows that he loves the quick game on 3rd down and short. You can see Mello reading it. An extra hitch there by Dillon, and that costs you. If you're going to throw a 6-yard hitch, you better throw it on rhythm against these 2 corners. You hesitate, they've got eyes to the ball, and Mello Dotson's to the house.
His second pick. Bryant on the other side has 2 picks this year as well. And Dillon Gabriel, the rare, just his 4th interception, a pick 6 for the Jayhawks. And we said it right off the top. A lot of road challenges in the top 6 in college football. Will everybody remain unbeaten? The Jayhawks will have something to say about it. Mello Dotson, a house call, and the Jayhawks have the early lead in Lawrence. between the Sooners and the Jayhawks, all by double figures. But it took, in 1997, the last win, a blocked field goal to secure the victory. Here it's the defense with its second pick six of the year. Mello Dotson this time. The Jayhawks have the early lead.
Brady Quinn was just saying on that big noon kickoff how good Oklahoma's been, second in the country at plus 10 in turnovers. That one not just a turnover, points on the board as well.
Tabor Allen to kick it away for the Jayhawks, who had a strong opening drive but went scoreless. It's a high kick and a very short kick inside the 20. It's Farouk on the return. And to your clicker, Brock.
Jason, take a look at the feet. This is what I'm talking about with intentional. Watch the feet take an extra little step. It's great right there. Now you got to throw. Now you got to throw that extra little beat, right? Watch a little hop. You cannot do that on a three-step. You allow that corner to make that kind of jump on Dillon Gabriel.
Why do you think he did that?
It's not normal. I know that. I know the first one he sailed high and wide. I know it's cold in different conditions, so you just maybe want to make sure everything is right. On a cold, windy day, that would be my only thought, but that's a lesson learned. You got to play on time and rhythm.
It's Gibson, the sophomore receiver, in motion. They'll throw it out wide to Farouk, who was in the backfield, and Jalil Farouk, who had 5 catches against Texas in that victory, has this grab.
This is important today. Watch this play clock. Oklahoma wants to be lightning fast. Kansas will be as slow as anybody in college football. Tempo is paramount to the Sooners game.
And even though time of possession is similar, it's in regards to the play clock. There's another flip to Farouk, so they're playing without Major and the receiver in the backfield twice. We take a look at Stay in the Game, sponsored by Hampton by Hilton for the Stay.
That's the point. Fast and furious. That gets their offense going, defense as well. That's their style. Tackling in the open field. Atrocious 2 weeks ago in Stillwater. 21 missed tackles. Better thus far.
Watch Drake Stoops, who's in that slot. They will throw it out wide again to Farouk, who shimmies for the first down. Jeremy Robinson with the tackle a yard late.
And that was a clear understanding by Farouk of knowing just where those chains were. If he would have danced, if he would have tried to cut it outside, they're punting. Instead, savviness right there from the receiver to plant his foot and go move those chains.
You look at the pass chart for Gabriel, so much of it is behind the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage. You saw the number on their screen passes, so many of them this year, as Sawchuk has a yard. Kenny Logan, their leading tackler, once again has the stop.
Well, that is a safety fill-in a hurry. Jeff Levy, coordinator, sees that. You know what's coming eventually, some RPO.
Sawchuk again, and he has stood up and dropped. Rich Miller, the transfer from Buffalo, who wasn't even a starter there, got his head in.
Yeah, nice job to shed the block of the center Rain, get his face mask forward so he could put it in Sawchuk's chest. Don't say that 5 times fast.
Third down, Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel down the middle, incomplete. There is a marker in. Nick Anderson, the intended target. Kobe Bryant celebrating. He didn't see the flag.
Yeah, too handsy. Nice in cut there by Anderson. Kobe reaches his arms out the second you do that, and I think he even turned the big receiver. It's going to draw that penalty flag.
The most competitive player on this team, to a man, they say is him.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, he's 170 pounds, a lean, mean pain, and he loves to get his hands on guys, but you can't do this down the field. Nice sharp in cut, you reach out, you're holding the arm of the receiver. That is a no question, no brainer, critical third down penalty.
To the 41. And they will hand it off, and it is Gavin Freeman, who had a touchdown on his first carry as a freshman last year. He's got 6.
Right back to the line of scrimmage.
Gabriel 2nd and 4. And now he climbs the pocket. He's got a first down and then some. That was Rich Miller canvassing him. No flag comes in, but Oklahoma driving.
Always been good with his legs, taking it to another gear this year. Got himself in the greatest strength he could, the lowest body fat of his career. I'll use that word again, intentional. Had a plan of how to attack this offseason. Wasn't happy about a season ago. None of these Sooners fans were. And his legs, really, when he pulls it down, have been a huge difference maker for him this season.
He called it a very unsettling offseason for Gabriel. Here is Farouk, and he is dragged down by Marvin Grant, the Purdue transfer.
Are you noticing something? All of this sideline to sideline. So it's not just tempo, right? Not playing fast. You're trying to wear that group down and make a defense run. Did a beautiful job of it, especially against Texas, wearing them down.
And that is in part why Oklahoma has been so good in the fourth quarter this year compared to last season when they were in the negative by about 3 scores. 2nd and 7. It's a run straight ahead this time, and Logan cleans out Sawchuk at the 20.
Body blow inside. Horizontal run, give these defenders different things to think about. Those are great tackles by a safety, and Sawchuk knows he's the unblocked guy. And eventually, those runs will come play action pass, slants, post routes right over the top of those safeties.
10-play drive for Oklahoma on its first touch. Gabriel rolling, and he is hit and dropped right at the 20-yard line. Hayden Hatcher got him.
The call here. Looks like Oklahoma's not hesitating, not thinking about a field goal. They too going to be aggressive, just as Kansas was on their opening drive, going for it on 4th.
Both teams figure field goals aren't going to do it today.
Cosign.
4th and 3. Tremendous 4th down team, the Oklahoma Sooners. Gabriel short set. He steps up. He's tripped up and he spikes it down to the ground. Kansas has it one way or the other. It was Austin Booker who's been a menace on that defensive line with the stop and eventual takeaway. Mason Fairchild, the tight end, tapped Booker on the shoulder during their last home game, said, "You're going to play on Sunday." He stopped Dillon Gabriel, Heisman candidate.
And I love this. Look at Kobe Bryant right here. On this 4th down, he is communicating to the second level that back alignment, what's coming. And more importantly, he's right in the hip pocket of Nick Anderson. That is where Dillon is looking to go. There is nowhere to go. And to your point, an excellent sack and tackle there by Austin Booker. But team defense have pretty good awareness of what's coming at them.
This is a Jayhawks team that gave up 52 last year to Oklahoma in Norman. Option again, Jason Bean on a late pitch. Neal, a little hopscotch, and he does make a couple of yards out of it. Downstairs, Allison.
Well, Oklahoma's offense is known for pushing the pace, but Kansas would like to go a little quicker as well in this drive. Jason Bean came over and told his offensive line, make sure you're ready to move a little quicker when we get out there. We won't see as many personnel changes, so we can try and push the pace as well.
That's interesting. We'll see what Kansas does with that level of tempo and how often they deploy it.
I mentioned the play clock with Oklahoma. Rarely do you see it go under 20. Kansas will want to mix it a little bit, but we'll take a whole bunch more of it and shift into one of those wildcat formations.
That's Devin Neal on the direct snap. It ends up eventually with Bean, who throws it back to Neal, and it's dropped. It's cold out there. Does that matter to you?
Yes. Does it have a little bit of an impact? Yes, it does.
So how can you help as a quarterback on a cold day for your pass catcher?
Well, as I said to you earlier, spirals help. You throw those ducks into the wind, and that thing comes at those running backs and receivers that much more awkwardly. Also a little bit of touch. Make it a catchable ball as best you can.
Being on 3rd and 8. He whistles it over the middle. That's caught by Lawrence Arnold right around midfield. That had velo on it.
It did, and this was a tremendous catch into this breeze. Just a deep in-cut zone defense. Lots of eyes of Oklahoma defenders on Bean that likes to scramble, and Kanak just can't quite get underneath it because that perfect spiral cuts through the wind, and the long arms of Arnold brings it in.
He had 113 yards in Norman receiving last year, as the Jayhawks have controlled this first quarter so far. Bean, quick set, throw it out wide. Tanaka Scott, and he is doused by Dasan McCullough.
Yeah, this guy's becoming a bad, bad boy, man. The last 4 weeks, his grades gotten higher and higher. The whole key to Ted Roof was stay outside, put things in a circle, and then go wrap it up and finish. Ask Brent Venables, do you see some Isaiah Simmons that you had at Clemson in this long, athletic cheetah? And he may not be quite as fast, but instincts and finishing power, right on par.
Ted Roof said we want them to play in a phone booth, not in the pasture. There's a second down run, and Brent Venables has done a marvelous job in a bounce-back season. Look, they were a team that looked like it was going to go under 500 last year, but in season number 2, a college football playoff threat.
Yeah, and done it defensively. Brought in a lot of horsepower, a lot of size, competitive depth, he said, to everybody. And you felt it. Cut the points nearly in half, finding ways to win close games, and as you said earlier, to finish when it really matters in that final frame.
Their last 4 losses last year were by 1 score. This could be a 1-score game here today. On the run, Highshaw dragging Key Lawrence and others. It is a first down. Jacob Lacey finally took him down.
You made a great point in our meeting last night, Benetti. You said keep an eye on Highshaw, keep an eye on Skinner. They're Oklahoma kids that probably didn't get a sniff from the Sooners. And there's something about being from that state, never beating them. And look at the power to drive right through that tackle of Key Lawrence. A whole lot of want to in that run.
He's from Moore, Oklahoma, in the south suburbs of Oklahoma City. He went to Toby Keith's high school. It's another run for the Oklahoma-born Highshaw.
This Kansas team can run. They can run the quarterback, even without Jalen Daniels. They can run with Neal. They can run with Highshaw, and it all starts up front. It's one of my favorite offensive lines we've had this year. So much turnover all over college football in so many spots. Not these dudes. They're grizzled. Many of them have been here for 3 years. They love one another, and they really are the starting point for the identity of this team.
Even on the right side, right? Ford, 31 starts, now 32. Cable do 34 consecutive. They'll run to the left. It is Neal, the proud Lawrence native, inside the 15, and finally drilled down by Kendall Dolby.
They just get a body on a body. That right side of the line that you were just talking about. Look at these guys up here. They just push. They're pushing defenders out of the way. They do such a terrific job of getting that body on a body, their size and movement, and allowing Neal and Highshaw to do the rest.
The thought bubble for Oklahoma right now might be,
this is real.
Shekels fall. Where's
Mello Dots has played pretty well for us. He's been waiting for those opportunities, and we made it happen. This crowd's been great, but you know we got 3 more quarters to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Lance Leipold, thank you. Allison, thank you. Off the bye week, some extra time to prep. And now Devin Neal to the short side, spinning out of a tackle. Oklahoma struggled with missed tackles in that game against UCF. 16 of them. That time Kanak missed.
And you've seen a bunch of them here early, running through Key Lawrence. It's one thing to get to these guys. It's quite another to tackle Neal and Highshaw. I mean, they are powerful guys. Kanak's coming as a linebacker. A Wildcat QB back in high school, tremendous speed, great story. And I think, as you said, these thought bubbles, especially for this defense, are, hey, we better buckle it up, and we better bring it when we come and tackle these Jayhawks.
And with all these third down conversions, 3 of them so far, how many touches will Dylan Gabriel even have this morning and afternoon? It's another run. It's Highshaw. Stutter step. Stiff arm. And 6.
Jason, to run it to the level they do, it isn't always just the big guys up front. It also takes tight ends. It takes running backs. Look at Fairchild seal the edge. Here comes Devin Neal to help his buddy out. I'm going to get a little piece of Stutzman so he can stiff arm. I'm going to get to the second level. It's not just the 5 pretties. I'm not even calling them ugly because they're pretties up front. It's the tight ends, 3 of them. It's the other running backs. They're all committed. And no, this game, like Mason told us yesterday, will begin and end at the line of scrimmage.
Oklahoma gave up 29 points last week to UCF and trailed for a portion of that game. The Sooners haven't sniffed the lead today. Highshaw, Oklahoma-born, makes it 14-0 Kansas. Welcome back to Big Noon Saturday, sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the next level network. Look, you got to be a superhero to beat Oklahoma for Kansas, and Key Lawrence on the sideline is incensed.
He is. He's talking to his battery mate saying, we have got to bring it. 5 missed tackles in 16 minutes of play isn't going to cut it. It's about 10, Jason. If you can miss 10 or less tackles in today's college football, you give yourself a chance. You miss 5 in the first quarter, hard to win.
Kansas missed 19 last time out against Oklahoma State and lost because of it. Oklahoma typically has been the Atlanta Braves of college football, just beating people in the first inning, but that is not the case today.
Not even close. And the pick 6 was huge after the defense gets a stop on 4th down, and Dylan's got to flush all of that. He's got to realize this is conference play. We're nearly to November. These are the games you remember in a little bit of adversity. He and his crew have got to respond to in a big way.
He took it all upon his shoulders from last year in the offseason and said, I am going to make this thing better as a leader, as Tawi Walker has the carry and bursts through into Logan and finally chopped down after 8 by Dotson.
This is where it all starts for them. The creativity of Gabriel is awesome, but Jeff Lebby, the offensive coordinator, knows running between the tackles sets the table up for everything else.
They lost Eric Gray after last year. The yards per carry is not the same, as that'll go up the middle to the 39 for Walker, who was out with a suspension, an in-house suspension last week.
298 yards rushing against these Jayhawks last year.
Gash after gash in that game. This is a throw, and it's the first catch for Drake Stoops, and there are enough Sooner fans here to say Stoops, or there might be some booze mixed in as well. He has been such security for his good friend Dylan Gabriel. That's catch number 37 for Drake Stoops. And here comes number 38, and he sheds a tackle. He's got the first down. He's into Kansas territory.
Yeah, it's security and then some.
Oh, that was a big push over on the sideline, and we'll see if a marker comes in. Looks like Craig Young on the sideline. There is the flag down on the sideline.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 15, defense, 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. It's an automatic first down.
Craig Young doesn't like it, but Stoops breaks the first tackle, and you've just got to let go. Just let go. You can't even. Those sideline officials in a game of this magnitude, nice flop too, they're going to be keeping an eye on any of that activity. But no surprise, who's going to respond to adversity? Drake Stoops. And while Coach Leipold doesn't like it, you just can't push him.
Just about 36 penalty yards a game for Kansas. There is Farouk, and he's across the 25. Young got pushed down, by the way, by an official trying to break them up. So this is the first time Oklahoma's been down 14 to Kansas even before that last win. It was a year before they last beat them. As Walker sneaks through the car wash and turns it into a positive carry into Logan.
Well, good job by this Oklahoma front responding. As we see a Jayhawk down, not been the most physical Bill Bedenbaugh crew that you have seen in Norman. But there is no question they know they've got to pick up their game to turn this game around.
Home improvement. Terry Allen celebrating. That was the last Kansas win over Oklahoma, October 4th, 1997. My partner was slinging it around the Pacific Northwest still against Arizona State that day. Tony Blevins, punt return for a touchdown, involved in a recovery of a blocked field goal. There was a 99-yard touchdown run, but the last 18 games have been blowouts. Basically all of them until the last 2 years, which were 12- and 10-point decisions. And a big 3rd and 1 with the rain starting down on the field. And you would imagine that would help the team in the lead.
Yes, but it puts further emphasis on those big guys up front to do their job well.
So stemming on the line, there is a marker in, and this looks like it's going to be a false start.
That was Jaden Gibson just trying to get started.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 1, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Jason, I don't know if we see a coach in college football that's in the ear of these officials more than Lance Leipold. He is right next to it. He sees it. He's celebrating. I mean, every time during just about every break, he has given them an earful. And those guys for Oklahoma, Walker in particular, knew he was getting the ball. Did not like that false start.
That's the 21st penalty on the offensive line for Oklahoma, bottom half of football this year. This run ends up at the 21-yard line. Miller was in with Burrows, and it's 4th down Oklahoma.
Tried to throw it on the previous 4th down. Remember, these corners right in the hip pocket of Nick Anderson and Farouk. I'd like to see a little option here of Gabriel keeping the ball, possibly.
A lot of motion. Walker back in motion. Fake it that way. Jump throw. Caught by the tight end, Stogner, inside the 10, 1st and goal.
Well, that's a terrific job. They may play fast, but they can motion and shift for advantage as well. All that pre-snap movement. They do indeed give it to Gabriel. Put it in his hands, in a wide open Stogner moves the sticks.
He left for South Carolina. He came back, and a big catch for Stogner to keep the drive going. And 2nd and goal coming up.
This is the one area for number 6 in the country.
Now the ball came out here. Let's see. Are they going to call him down? The ball is out. Kansas says it's Jayhawk football. Let's see what the officials say about this. There was a whistle. Let's see when it came.
Prior to the ball coming out, forward progress was ruled. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's not reviewable as well. Forward progress ruled. Let's listen to the whistle.
Lance not having any of it.
If we get a chance, we'll play that for you, but that is not reviewable because of the way it was called. Barnes the tailback. Gabriel with the keep. He cuts inside and scores. Back to the play. Listen.
20-yard gain. 1st and goal at the 9. Ball carrier is number 29.
I think that's right. I think it's awfully close, but I think it's right. And then coming right back with the run game. Tyler Guyton leading the way at right tackle. Some good help as well from your receiver, paving the way for Gabriel 6.
That was so tight, Brock. It might have been that the rip itself happened before the whistle, but the ball didn't come out until after the whistle. But so close as Schmidt makes the extra point. So Oklahoma just right on the edge there of losing the football. Grabs some momentum back. Gabriel leads them in. It's a 1-score game. And the Sooners into the end zone for the first time today after 14 plays worth of 60 yards the first couple of touches as the rain is persistent but light.
That's easy for us to say up here in the warm Poser booth.
It looked like before the game, based on the weather forecast, that this rain wasn't going to happen until about 4 o'clock. But now looking at the radar, it looks like it will be consistent throughout the game the way it's approaching. Schmidt on the kick to Wilson, and this is very returnable from the 10-yard line. And he's to the 24. So much motion for Kansas offense.
You'll hear some teams talk about the illusion of complexity. Kansas is about the reality of that complexity. Pre-snap, making that defense think, making them process. Part of the reason all those missed tackles, because they've got to do more than just react. They've got to get in the right spot. They've got to get lined up. And then, oh, by the way, you've got to deal with one of the more physical, underrated physical O-lines and running back crews in the country.
Andy Kotelnicki, with an extra week to prepare for Oklahoma, can be even more clever and creative with his sets. Being off play action just flips it out of bounds. I'd love to see the notes app on Andy Kotelnicki's phone, because he says that's where he keeps the inspiration for plays. A guy who's been with Lance Leipold since 2013. Thank you for circling. Frosted windows. But look, he derives inspiration from even his players. He asked them for some plays during fall camp and during the spring, and some of them have been implemented, but they run a lot of stuff to force what Ethan Downs, the Oklahoma defensive end, called eye crimes. Here is Neal on the run to the 29.
Well, this is a big third down. You just said it to me before this drive began. Now, will Oklahoma respond? You saw Key Lawrence, that shot on the sideline, and his emotion, right, just urging his teammates on. Offense responds, puts a touchdown drive together. The fourth best third down offense in America, staring at their fifth third down opportunity today.
They've converted 3rd and 9, 8 and 6 so far. This is 3rd and 5 for Jason Bean. Short set, it's incomplete. Not held on to by the tight end Mason Fairchild, who is shaking his head.
Well, he knows he's got to bring this in, but a nice job there by Reggie Pearson on the back end. They sandwich it. Going to see the safety here. He's got eyes on that tight end. Mason gets to the sticks, but the two of them sandwich, collision that football. And a team that doesn't punt very often, especially third down, can't find a way to stay on the field.
You think that ball was a little bit late?
A little late, a little wet.
Gavin Freeman back to receive. And on the fair catch, he's inside the 35. On the 37-yard punt, the Sooners will have it back. They'll get it after halftime as well, trying to tie the game here in the second quarter. Sponsored by DirecTV. Stop compromising. Start watching. Upgrade to DirecTV. Always fun when Big Noon's in town. You didn't do that to Brady or anything. Take his hat and spike it down when you're down on the set, did you?
No.
Tony Sands, former Kansas running back. This place is going to get a major renovation soon. Here in Lawrence, they've got a whole Gateway District coming up, taking bids on it. And this will revolutionize the way Kansas football looks and feels. They already have one of the best basketball venues in the land in Allen Fieldhouse. This is behind the line. Walker breaks it down, cuts inside, gets hit but keeps his feet. Berryhill sort of pinballed off of him like a flipper.
You've just kind of felt it, haven't you, Jason? They took that first punch, big punch, uppercut, 14-0. And really, since in that previous drive was just going north and south right at you as the Jayhawk defender is down, and that's a big loss. That's big boy Devin Phillips right in the middle of that defensive line. Keenan Caldwell knocked out earlier, but you've just seen a response. Lance Leipold feels it down there. Like, yeah, we came out swinging, man, but Oklahoma, pretty darn battle tested, scarred from a year ago, and have turned around the physicality meter here over the last two possessions.
Yeah, Phillips, the four-year starter at Colorado State, here at Kansas, and we're talking to Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator for Kansas, about the way Oklahoma rotates defensive linemen. And the Sooners have played 19 defensive linemen this year. Borland said to us, I don't even know if we have 19 defensive linemen, so losing 2 this early,
that's right,
is not a great sign.
And Coach Borland knows that you have to, against the beef and the strength of Oklahoma, play those 6 guys. You've already lost Caldwell. This is not a good sign as you're seeing Phillips barely putting weight on that ankle. 6 defensive tackles, that's a good number. You can win with that. You can sustain. 4 against this tempo becomes a lot more difficult.
Gage Keys and Caleb Taylor are in right now. They have a combined 11 tackles all year for the Kansas Jayhawks. Second down and 3 under 9 to go in the first half for undefeated Oklahoma on the road. They have Bedlam next week in Stillwater. Tough pocket of the schedule. Walker has been running with vigor.
Nice job there by Andrew Raym. I'm celebrating those Kansas Jayhawks. A little easier to do because they huddle, but let me tell you, this Oklahoma O-line has put it together these previous 2 possessions.
All Big 12 last year, honorable mention Raym. Even in a tough year for Oklahoma standards. Another handoff, and right out of the cannon is Walker to the 45-yard line.
Nice little trap play. You call that a wham block. Austin Stogner, the tight end, comes down. He's actually the one in charge of kicking down that D tackle.
You're right, Brock. You can feel Oklahoma leaning on Kansas here.
They just said enough. Enough of that perimeter stuff. Enough of trying to throw the rhythm passing game. Let's just get back to running it and testing the metal right between the tackles. And the wind, the rain, the 38 degrees probably plays a role in it as well.
20 runs, 7 passes for the Sooners so far.
The play has been suspended.
Oh, there's lightning in the area, and they are stopping play.
At this time, the game is suspended until the weather no longer poses a danger.
How about that? Wow. I mean, it's not exactly the 2016 World Series, Cubs and Cleveland, but you felt the momentum swinging to Oklahoma, and that's the only thing tropical here in Lawrence right now. Okay, so here, Kansas, you feel like just based on the moment that we were in,
yes,
Kansas gets a little bit of a break.
They do, a little bit of a reprieve, because Oklahoma has said 20 out of 27 plays we're going to run it. And remember, that first series was a couple passes, including the pick 6. So let's just really see this group that we ran for nearly 300 yards on a year ago. Let's really see if they figured us out. Let's really see if they can physically match up with us. And right now in that front 7, they're having a hard time containing this Oklahoma run.
And to be clear, this is not a situation with leeway, right? This is a hard and fast rule by the NCAA. If there's lightning in the area, there's lightning in the area, and you can't play. So, 14.
Wilson Williams on the sidelines.
Yeah, guys, I had a chance to talk to Kansas head coach Lance Leipold before they resumed this game, and he said they tried to treat this rain delay a bit like you would at halftime. Coaches addressed some things with the players, and then they just told them to get off their feet and relax a bit. The challenge, of course, in this situation, you just don't know how long it's going to be. So they are fired up to get back out there, and he kind of said the same thing you guys did. He said Oklahoma started to get some momentum there, and so this break kind of gives us a chance to regroup. He said we had some missed opportunities, some dropped balls, but we're slugging it out. We're going to keep slugging it out the rest of the way.
And they're going to have to slug it out as he's trying to create energy over on the sideline. It can feel a little bit dead out of that delay. The students are still here, and some folks have braved the conditions, but it's not as electric of a crowd as it was when we started, although the students are trying to change that. So 1st and 10 for Oklahoma out of nearly an hour delay. And that's Farouk in motion. It is Dylan Gabriel on the run. He scored a touchdown, and he cartwheels forward to the 35 as O.J. Burrows gets the stop.
We'll be curious in that near hour delay that Kansas had defensively if they start to mix it up, start to mix up some of their fronts, bring more people, more resources to the line of scrimmage.
Kobe Bryant, the near side corner, signaling into the middle of the field on that check. Gabriel, a little hesitation, and the run. He's got a crease. Dylan Gabriel down at the 11 out of bounds, and there is a marker back at the 22.
Yeah, that's going to be a block in the back. Still going to be plenty of yards, but block in the back. I believe it was Walker as Gabriel breaks it out to the perimeter.
Illegal block in the back, number 29. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's still 2nd down.
And that is a spot foul.
We've seen these running backs on both sides get involved. Walker trying to help his buddy out, but a clear block in the back there on Kobe Bryant. But Oklahoma hasn't deviated. Get back to that run game. Paid big dividends over their last 2 possessions, and Kansas right now not an answer for both traditional run and certainly Gabriel's QB +1 run.
That is a 22-yard penalty. They would have been down at the 11, and they'll get a big gash anyway from Walker. Cutting outside, Tawee Walker. What a beautiful run to the 5.
I'll tell you who's been a monster. We show Key Lawrence in motion, but this guy right here, the most massive offensive lineman, Guyton, has just been tossing people and setting the edge himself, and Walker going north and south.
Toss to Farouk. Jalil Farouk is submarined by Quentin Lassiter's 2nd and goal. And now that's the tight end for Oklahoma, Austin Stogner, who is down and writhing in pain. A big catch earlier, Stogner.
He was on the front end of that as Venables is going to check out his 5th-year transfer. 3 years here, a season in South Carolina, and there was just a whole lot of force that came his way. Looked like his arm was caught inside that pile. Do not have as much depth at that tight end position as some of the others.
No, he has 9 catches. The rest of the room has 3 total.
Yeah, here's Stogner right here, and just you see his arm is just caught underneath lots of this traffic and bodies flying. That's a good sign. Not favoring that arm at all. They need him. He sets the table in a lot of their. He had a big catch down in the red zone earlier in play action. Does an excellent job along with these big tackles of setting the edge.
Nick Anderson, big touchdown maker at the bottom of your screen. It's a run right up the middle, and Walker crashes in. Touchdown, Oklahoma, undaunted by the Lightning.
Yeah, that's just running right at these 2 linebackers right here. You're just hesitating because of the QB run, because of all of the play action. They're just eyes are hesitating, and once you hesitate for a second, Walker at 220 pounds knows what to do, gets his pads underneath. And Oklahoma's come out swinging.
There's a guy who showed up as a walk-on to Oklahoma. Remember, he was out personnel matter last week. Team suspension as Schmidt knocks in yet another extra point. And we are tied. The Oklahoma Sooners rising up on the road, tied at 14. Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. And by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Sooners got a little nasty on that drive. 9 runs for touchdown number 2.
Yeah, the folks are trying to come back in here because they know they've got to make a difference. Oh, well, those 2 are having time of their life steaming right there. The Oklahoma offense steaming hot.
Shirts are optional. After the rain, evidently. You see the difference between quarters, though. It has been a distinct advantage here in the 2nd for Oklahoma. Kansas went 3 and out on its last drive. Then the delay happened. So on the return, Wilson puts it on the ground, and he lost control of it completely. It goes rolling downhill, and Oklahoma is on top of it. The Sooners have it. It is Lewis on the football. And that is a big change. Camp Lewis, the freshman linebacker.
Well, we wondered if Oklahoma could sustain some of the momentum before the hour break. They come right out and hit Kansas in the face. And Trevor Wilson, in the rain, takes his eyes off it for that split second. And that slippery ball scoots right into the Sooners' hands so they can again set that tone physically. And Lance Leipold knows. Pick 6 earlier, awesome. But giving right back into the red zone. Yep, shake your head, disappointing.
There's a close shave for Wilson there that went the wrong way. plus 11 now turnover margin for Oklahoma, and they run it straight up the gut with Walker again. It took Marvin Grant to spike him down.
Yeah, this offensive line, Rame and crew, they've got some moving pieces. No Walter Rouse, but Guyton and Rame in particular owning the point of attack.
Why not? Right back to the ground. Walker goes tractor pulling forward for a first down and goal.
Yeah, and Kansas is content to just have this 4-down line, and Oklahoma's more than content to continue to just push them on their heels.
This is a touchdown waiting to happen. And it is Walker stood up. There's a marker that came in. Logan saying hands to the face against Oklahoma. We'll see.
Holding, number 70. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Hayden Green said how.
Yeah, I think it was more of a choke slam than it was anything else. They're just ragdolling these guys. You're going to see 70 right there, the freshman left guard. He gets underneath and just hog tosses Rich Miller.
Yeah, that was Undertaker stuff. WWE. So move him all the way back to the 12. Gabriel short set. Walker out of the backfield on the swing pass down to the 9. Austin Booker got the stop. He had a sack earlier for that Kansas defense that just for the first time this year got a stop against Oklahoma in the red zone.
They had not stopped anybody on any single drive in the red zone, touchdown or field goal. Did get that 4th down stop. But you're going to have to stop the run, and you're going to have to stop Dylan Gabriel's run. That 1-2 punch right now, the Jayhawks do not have an answer for defensively.
Gabriel's only thrown 7 passes. Number 8 will not come. Gabriel, end zone again.
Just kind of sense it, don't they? Some of that just experience, that winning DNA. As I said to you during the break, Dylan Gabriel just got whatever it takes. Today may not be a throwing day, but it can very much be a running day, keeping the play alive. 2 touchdowns on the ground for number 8.
Well, Lance Leipold said when we play in normal situations, we're in great shape. The Kansas Jayhawks. This was an abnormal situation. The rain, quick turnover, and give it right away to an Oklahoma team that looks unstoppable on the ground. And then this.
And then to add further insult to injury, here's the touchdown, and this is just a miss right here. We talked to Austin Booker yesterday. He's an edge player, and you've got to keep contained. He likes to try to make you cannot lose containment and leverage, because Dylan Gabriel is going to feel it, and those fans are going to feel it even worse.
At least that fan is better covered from the weather than the prior.
Just a winner, man, when you start 40-plus games in college football, when you've seen everything that that young man has seen. Originally committed to Army, decommits, goes with coordinator Jeff Lebby to Orlando and UCF, and Lance Leipold is livid. He knows up 14-0. There was a tremendous opportunity to play from ahead, but instead, Oklahoma's responded. The takeaway, the touchdown, and remember, OU will get the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, this is an enormous drive. So Kenny Logan is back to receive this kick. Wilson is out of that spot. Logan takes it this time, and Kenny Logan with a flag coming in sets him up for now at the 26.
Yeah, this is going to be a hold to once again abnormally put the Jayhawks in the hole.
During the return, holding, number 20. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That wasn't nice to the locals. He didn't mean to, but little pause. And Jason Bean, 5 for 10, 45 yards. This is his 25th career start in college football. He's won 7 of those, and we'll see how he handles adversity.
Got to handle it, and got to run a little bit and get back to that run game.
It's Highshaw on the direct snap, and Highshaw does sneak out to the fringe, and Billy Bowman ushers him out.
Another missed tackle there right at the point of attack for Oklahoma. That was the problem the previous couple possessions. To me, Jason, you've got to utilize all of this as much as you possibly can to control the ball. The momentum has swung the other way. So a 6-year experienced guy like Bean, an experienced offensive line, it's where you have that conversation. And then we got to possess it, we got to go score and not give it back to Oklahoma before the end of the half.
To this point, they have 11 plays after a third down conversion on a drive today, extending these drives. And this will set up, it looks like a first down depending on the spot. Let's see, they are going to move the chain. So it is a first down for Kansas. So Hishaw looks like he's grabbing for his right leg there.
I think it's actually that right arm, Jason, kind of a little bit of a stinger, right? Get ready, man. Cold day. Warm that body back up. Both sides have already seen a number of players banged up.
So Neal comes in. He was split out wide, and we'll play Where's Waldo with everybody as they break the formation. Luke Grimm, who does not have a catch so far today, back tight to the formation. Bean trying to roll away, and he does have to flip it out of bounds. Rondell Bothroyd, the Wake Forest transfer, was in hot pursuit.
Yeah, he's one of these 4 defensive linemen experience, 4 guys with 21 years of experience. And you'll see him. He does keep containment. The opposite of what we saw in that touchdown earlier. Keeps contained, and then he gets right into Bean's legs and forces the throwaway.
This feels like a running down for Kansas here to set up third and manageable. They run about 3/4 of the time when they do come out of this pistol formation. It is a run. It is Neal, and he's got nowhere to go. It's a gain of 2. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Kenai Walker, the sophomore, some depth in that defensive backfield, made the stop.
Stutzman and crew, nice job. Even though Ethan Downs gets tossed to the ground, he too just keeps contained. Keep everything in front of you. That was Ted Roof's point this week, like a circle, man. Nothing outside the circle. You go rally, you pursue. An enormous 3rd down here to keep possession.
They have converted on a 3rd and 9 and a 3rd and 8 today. Jason Bean, North Texas transfer. 3rd and 8. He flushes wide. Bean on the run. How much field in front of him? There's a marker in at the 48. Let's see. It is a first down. We'll check the flag.
That's going to be a hold against Oklahoma on the back end. Once Bean escapes, trying to plaster defensively, but a bunch of contact there. Good call.
Holding number 15, defense. 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
To me, Jason, this is where you have got to get Jason Bean. You've got to give him a situation with green turf in front of him because he is electric. Oklahoma can run defensively. Kannick and Crew can run, but Bean is even a step faster. And there you see the hold on Dolby. He's doing the best he can on the escape drill. But the grab, the penalty, keeps possession for the Jayhawks.
Devin Neal on the run, little shimmy. And he's across midfield. I mean, Jason Bean was 3rd in state in Texas in the 100-meter. He has track speed. Bean play action. Surveying, loads of time, got a block from Neal to the outside, and this throw is tipped, and it's caught. It's caught by Skinner off the deflection. Even if he was out of bounds, the tip ball saves him on a gain of 24.
I have no idea where Bean is throwing this. I mean, that is lucky.
His foot was hovering over the sideline, but I don't think it was on the sideline when he touched the football. This will be reviewed.
Pass is under further review.
Oh, there is a lot at play here. Quentin Skinner says that's a catch.
And I know Trace Ford is an amazing athlete. He's a defensive end. He gets all the way underneath this throw.
Dean Blandino is with us. Dean, what are you seeing here?
So obviously Skinner is out of bounds. He's not the first to touch, but he has to reestablish before he touches it or that pass is incomplete. It looks like the right toe If that toe is up off the ground, then the moment he touches the football, it's incomplete. So that's what we're going to have to determine here. It looks like that foot is up.
So Dean, even with the double touch right here, because he doesn't gain possession of it, he being Skinner right here, he actually gains possession now. Does that matter with the double touch?
No, not the possession, it's the touch. So if I'm out of bounds and he's out of bounds now, Skinner is not back in bounds until he reestablishes with a body part. So if he touches it before that body part is down in bounds, the pass is incomplete.
Is it one body part, Dean? Is it the 1 foot touching, or does it have to be both? Because his right foot, it would have to be just one body part, right?
One body part.
Okay.
NFL, it would be both feet. In college, it's any body part.
Okay.
So if that right foot is touching when that left foot comes off the ground, then he would have reestablished.
So what call are you making, Dean, if you're in the replay booth?
It's really close. I'm going incomplete, but I'm kind of a gambler. You know, I kind of live on the edge.
Yes. Well, the call on the field was a reception. The booth is right next to us, and yeah, there were about 9 different things going on there, including Trace Ford, who dropped 20 yards into coverage from his defensive end spot, so I can't really rip him for not catching it. That is not necessarily in his DNA, but Bean got away with one. I mean, he had no business throwing into that kind of coverage.
No, that was an amusement park. That was all over the place. And, you know, the question is, do you have enough to overturn? That would be enough.
Wow.
I mean, look,
wow.
That is, we're plumbing the depths of student section gear. Now that's a look too. There's a lot going. There's more going on there than in that play, and that's tough to do.
Yeah, well, that was a fortuitous bounce for sure for Jason Bean. Incredible concentration from Skinner on his side of it to even bring this into question. You can see everybody is looking at the big board here.
Here's a call.
After review, the ruling on the field of a completed pass is confirmed. First down.
They confirmed it. Wow. Wow. So Clinton Skinner, who we found out just yesterday, his pregame routine the day before the game is that he takes a plate and puts a giant pool of ranch on it and then dips everything into it that he can possibly find. That was the kitchen sink of a play that goes along with his day before meal. Yikes.
Sticky.
By the way, we do not condone that pregame meal. The first down for Kansas. Highshaw and Neal together. Neal ran right into the first door. Now breaks it down inside the 10, and it's first and goal, Kansas.
Whatever it is, it was an enormous break for Jason Bean. An enormous break for this Kansas offense that has found success. Much like Oklahoma's run game and Dylan Gabriel's run's been excellent, this Wildcat's been pretty good too. And another broken tackle there. Stutzman is just reaching. You can't do that. Both of these defenses have got to bring their feet through contact. If you reach an arm or you lunge at these backs, not going to happen. Oh, yeah, I see you, Mr. Baines.
Kobe Baines getting himself riled up.
Let's go. These big boys, man, this is a big boy game this afternoon in the rain.
It's Neal, and he is stopped. Dasan McCullough.
If I'm Oklahoma, do I think of using timeouts here?
I was just going to say, you said at the beginning of this drive, try and use up as much as you possibly can because Oklahoma gets the football on a halftime.
If I'm Brent Venables, I might think about doing that just to get that extra possession because Kansas on their side should take every single one of these seconds.
Now Lance Leipold on the near sideline talking to one of the officials. Brent Venables is irate. Nobody's happy. Literally nobody.
Especially that guy with the plunger between his ears.
No, he's got a problem. Rangers fans are happy. Adolis Garcia late into the night, walk-off home run, 6-5 over the Snakes. Tonight, Diamondbacks, Rangers trying to even the series, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific tonight on Fox, and it's a ground ball machine. Jordan Montgomery on the hill for Texas against Merrill Kelly of the Arizona Diamondbacks. They both have been sterling so far in the postseason.
Montgomery was good in St. Louis. He has been great as a Ranger. Merrill Kelly did not like getting pulled in Philadelphia. He wanted to see that lineup one more time through. Both these teams, bullpens, pretty gassed. The starting pitchers have got to deliver.
Would you say they're going bananas in Arlington?
I would say both head coaches were too.
That is a good point. Kansas, I believe, used the timeout there.
Yeah, that is peculiar. Lance Leipold was not happy, again, normally happy with the officials at any point. But took a time out there that we'll see.
Yeah, if you give Oklahoma a little bit of a sliver here. Lance Leipold, by the way, is a very pleasant man to speak to in normal conversation. He's not normally that kind of guy that goes all scanners on the sideline. Second and goal coming up at some point as the rain continues to get in Ethan Downs' eyes.
I think his eye black is...
Well, he was the one all week talking about eye crimes and eye discipline. This is starting to create a file.
This is about these guys, though, man. Seriously, in this weather, I know there's lots of other stars, but it comes down to this line of scrimmage, man. Both sides.
And they put 1:02 on the clock. They just changed the clock. Bean back in the end zone, and he overcooked it for Cardell.
Oh, and that is just another critical miss. And it is wet, and it is windy, but you cannot be more wide open than this play-action pass. Oklahoma selling out. Look at all the eyes. 3 steps forward.
Yeah.
On a dry day, that is just a little bit of touch. On a wet day, trying to cut through these conditions with more velo, that's a critical miss.
And now you've got a decision forthcoming. If you don't get it on 3rd and goal, you also have left Oklahoma time regardless. Bean again. Over the middle into traffic, and that's knocked away. Danny Stutzman is down and hurt, but he was the guy that got the hand in.
That's just late. As early and as anticipatory as Jason Bean was a week ago, the very best as you see Stutzman friendly fire collision in the end zone. This ball has got to come out in a hurry. The minute that tight end shows you his numbers, that ball's out. Yep. And it's late. And once it's late down here in a condensed area, fortunate in some ways that he doesn't get the interception, and you can see the lower leg there. McCullough and Stutzman collide.
Danny Stutzman, it was such a joy to talk to this week, a young man who, as he talks about himself, he says, look, I've just always loved playing with effort that's different than everybody else, and he has become such a defensive leader for this team, sort of the Dylan Gabriel of the defense in terms of having guys follow him, and he gets the stop here. We'll check on his condition shortly as Seth Keller is on for a field goal. They're going to try and take the 3.
Yeah, these are the game situations against the number 6 team in the country that come back and bite you. Kind of like a Paul Sewald walk in the 9th inning before Corey Seager bites you. This whole management after 1st and goal at the 5.
Field goal is up and good, but that feels like a win for the Oklahoma defense. Coming up at the half, stay tuned. Rob Stone and the guy. But Dylan Gabriel, you talk about a bounce back in the 2nd quarter from this pick 6 that he threw earlier.
Yeah, this is the second pass. Missed on the 1st down, stares down this hitch route, just an extra beat. And Dotson made some pay. And you know what? Maybe as a freshman, you wallow in that decision. Not as a 5th-year senior, not with 40 starts under your belt. You come back, you battle back, and it's been his legs, much like it was against Texas. They beat the Longhorns, not with his arm, but with his 113 yards on the ground. And that turnaround and 3 touchdown drives, you could see pretty pedestrian in the passing game, especially for him. This is a guy that's thrown for over 600 yards in a game in his college career. Says, that's fine. If I got to run for 100 a day and do it the hard way, I can put my head down and get those yards as well.
You know, he told you off the top, right now he would be the single-season completion percentage leader for the Oklahoma Sooners. Baker Mayfield currently has the record over 70% as this will sail into the end zone, and Oklahoma will have it from the 25 with 3 timeouts. Right. And this is full go time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 15 straight runs. They've done it that way. They may have to put the ball in the air, but Jason, 37 first-half snaps for the Sooners. 30 on the ground.
Look, if you feel like you have an advantage why not use it?
Absolutely. And if they're not going to put extra bodies up there, if they're not going to get into a bare front, if they're not going to put more D linemen on the field, you continue to take what they're giving you. Offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby, former lineman himself, doesn't mind this kind of game at all.
He talks a lot about Dillon Gabriel's pre-snap process. This is another run, 16 straight, and Sawchik is drilled. It's a loss of 1. Robinson and Withers there together. Interesting call there.
Well, now it looks like they're more than content to get into halftime. That's a little bit of a surprise.
You know, Brock, if possessions are going to be that valuable in this game with all the running, wouldn't you want to try and maximize an extra one you got given?
And here's your first substitution where Oklahoma substituted. They're taking a knee anyway. Bit surprised with 3 timeouts and 50 seconds to go, but I do think this might be the weather conditions as well, Jason.
They will get it out of halftime, so they'll reset. Maybe the weather will look a little smilier for Oklahoma when they touch it in about 22 minutes. But Kansas has not won in this series since 1997. This is the closest it's been since 2004, and that went fine for the Sooners schooner. Coming up, stay tuned. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, Urban Meyer. They all have the State Farm halftime show and an umbrella. Back to Big Noon Saturday, sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the next level network. You saw the Kansas pick 6. Oklahoma scoring on a short field and running the ball 17 straight times to end the first half. And time now for next level moments, sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the next level network.
Well, as the weather has turned on a cold, wet, windy day in Lawrence, Kansas, both teams have turned to the run game. 20 runs, over 6 yards a carry, as Highshot pounded it in there in the first quarter, but then it was all Oklahoma in the second quarter. It was Walker. It was Gabriel. It was an offensive line that just pushed at the point of attack, and Kansas just did not have an answer. I'm not seeing an Oklahoma crew just go, we're going to run it, and we're going to run it, and we're going to run it, and we're going to run it again. 31 of their 39 plays in that first half. What did you just say? How many runs?
17 straight, but it's really nothing because Air Force ran it 41 straight times earlier at one point.
Well,
this
if
year.
Kansas can't stop it, and this is what the great coordinators do at any single level, I'm going to call it until you stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get extra cute. I'm not playing for Dillon Gabriel's Heisman stats. I'm playing for wins, and that starts with Dillon Gabriel. I don't think he cares that he hadn't had to throw it much. Those 2 touchdown runs have been key.
Yeah, 5 for 7, the 1 interception, but 173 yards on the ground for the Oklahoma Sooners, and they will have the ball out of halftime in an enormous game. Oklahoma trying to stay unbeaten going into what looks like the final bedlam next week. Kansas looking for one of those shape-shifting, seismic wins for a program that just 3 years ago did not win a game. 2-10 2 years ago, 6-7 last year, and on the edge today. 21-17, Oklahoma will have it, and we check in with Allison Williams.
Jason, I talked to Oklahoma's Brent Venables at the half, and he felt like they ran the ball much better on the last couple drives, but he didn't want to talk about offense or running the ball at all. All he was concerned about was his defense's tackling. He said, we tackle well the rest of this ball game. We got a chance to win this thing. If we don't, it's anybody's game. This game will come down to our ability to tackle. As for Kansas and Lance Leipold, he said defensively they have to fix a couple things. They've lost contain and fit the wrong gap here and there. They need to be more sound. Offensively, they have to find balance. Even in this weather, they need to be able to pass the ball some.
It's a run by Farouk to start the half. Marvin Grant the stop. You were nodding as Allison was talking about the tackling for Oklahoma.
Well, it's absolutely key and critical for both of these teams. I mean, it's why Kansas couldn't stop anybody a couple weeks ago before their bye in Stillwater. And for Oklahoma, cleaned up a little bit in that second quarter, but imperative.
There's a broken tackle by Walker, and Walker across the 45, finally spiked down by the safeties, Grant and Logan.
A big missed tackle by Austin Booker, the edge player. Again, you can't bring the arm, you got to bring your feet.
And that defensive line was just not set on that last play. Feet in the ground, certainly not on the Walker run. And that was such a key for Kansas's coaching staff. They've seen tempo the past couple of games with Oklahoma State and a little bit lesser in UCF. Here is another run. Walker hesitating, trying to double back, trying to break a tackle, and finally wrangled at the 48. So 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Just feels like rugby scrums. There are so many bodies right there between the tackles. And you wonder if there is an opportunity on a 3rd and short situation. You know you're going to get man-to-man coverage, extra bodies. Do you even dare throw it? Or do you continue to be effective with Dylan Gabriel as a threat running it?
Or you give him the option. By the way, Stogner back in, the tight end. He was hurt earlier. There he is in motion along with Blake Smith, the 2nd tight end. Now that's Freeman in motion, and Freeman with Robinson after him, and down he goes. Great pursuit by Jeremy Robinson.
Yeah, that is all effort. That is a big man at defensive end. You're going to see I think that's considered a pass with the forward underhand toss, but that is all effort. That is 1-2. It is the big man Robinson at 280, and Craig Young, the nickel linebacker, pursuing as well.
And they're going to go for it, Brock. 4th and 3 at the 48-plus territory.
Or at least try to hard count with that clap.
There's one clap. Berryhill walking off the field, and this will be delayed. Kansas will take the 5 yards. Oklahoma will, and set up a punt.
Gosh, it just feels like any stop for either of these
Delay a
defenses.
game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Is a party.
Yeah, it almost has the magnitude of a takeaway. First punt today, in fact, for these Sooners.
We haven't seen any punters in this game. So first to the bash is Luke Elzinga for Oklahoma. And remember, Trevor Wilson struggled with that kickoff return. He is their primary punt returner. So Luke Grimm, the native of Missouri, is back to receive. This would be his first punt return of the year. And now with the substitutions, the officials standing over the ball, and it's going to be timeout. Timeout, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has called their first charge timeout of the half. Timeout on the field.
That's interesting. You might want that later if you're Brent Venables. We need windshield wipers for face masks today. We had an hour delay. Still, big game.
We love our house.
Saturday is sponsored by T-Mobile. It's better over here. Last time Kansas beat a top 10 opponent in the AP poll was 2008, 15 years ago. They beat Virginia Tech, Todd Reesing and that great team in the mid-2000s, 227 and a touchdown. Aqib Talib with the pick 6 in the first quarter. He was the MVP, and he's celebrated still here.
Benetti, the last time it was done in this building, though?
Yeah, how old were you?
8. 1984.
A long, long time back to the AstroTurf days. Brent Venables called a timeout there rather than take the delay of game. So Grimm will let this bounce inside the 10, and Oklahoma gave up a couple yards there. Coming up next on Fox, huge game in the Pac-12. Bo Nix in Oregon against Sione Vaki and the Utah Utes, who out of nowhere beat USC last week. The underdog going into the Coliseum. Chance still to get to the Pac-12 title game for the 3rd straight year. And it is a bottleneck behind Washington.
Yeah, an underdog a week ago in the Coliseum, you could understand. An underdog at home today?
Yeah.
A touchdown? Surprising.
Especially after what they did to Oregon a couple of years ago in the Pac-12 title game. Obviously different coaching staff as they'll go Wildcat. And it's Devin Neal who runs with pride to the 19-yard line. The former Lawrence High School Chesty Lion. That's the team nickname.
This Wildcat has been so good, as was Bryce Cable-Dew. Just take your eyes at times away from the ball. I know it is hard to do. But in this game, as much as Oklahoma's running it, and Kansas for that matter as well, just as a fan, as a viewer, watch the big guys. Watch the right tackle. Watch the center. Watch the magic that goes on at the point of attack with a really good offensive line.
I'm the play-by-play announcer. Can I watch the ball still?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Neal on the Wildcat. Got a great block inside from Mason Fairchild. See, I looked at the line. This is Devin Neal playing for Lawrence High School. He said he wanted to change this program. And when he talked about the Chesty Lions, he said, look, it's a Lion that stands upright, has pride, has the chest puffed out, and it's a powerhouse.
Yep, and this is his kind of game. This is this O-line's kind of game. This is Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator's kind of game. Got a couple OCs with the offensive line backgrounds, and they don't mind this as you see a little creativity once again pre-snap.
Cooney moved from the right side to the left side tackle spot, so they unbalanced the line to the left side, and Oklahoma was right on it. That was Key Lawrence, who missed a tackle earlier along with Downs, and it's second down.
That was such a good look at circling this offense. Ted Roos point to us. We want to encircle them. Make sure our leverage and containment doesn't get outside. And Key Lawrence took a tremendous path for Brent Venables and Ted Roos right there, and then did what Brent told Allison they've got to do. Make the tackle in those one-on-one situations.
We saw Key Lawrence on the sideline earlier, down 14-0, getting into his teammates emotionally, trying to rev up that defense. Short toss, it's Neal, and he's going to set up a third down and medium. That's Woody Washington from the corner spot, first in, and he made the tackle.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Woody Washington. You saw Downs out there as well. Once again, keep it inside. Keep the ball inside of you, and then you've got to go finish with your feet. Don't stop your feet, because that running back, any of these backs for the Jayhawks won't. Well done.
By the way, Danny Stutzman still out of the ball game. Kip Lewis is in. You see him, the freshman from Carthage, Texas, as Kansas opened 3 for 4 on third down. They're 1 for their last 3. Third and 7, Jason Bean, free runner coming in. That was Washington creating the pressure and the siege on Bean.
He just waited. He waited and waited. Look at that. He's not peeking in. There's no indicator to Jason Bean. Even with all that experience, he did not give that away at all. Because of it, he comes free, and Bean jumps up in the air because he knows that throw right there. Just give my guy a chance. Just give my guy a chance. Those are the plays you've got to make if you're going to take down number 6.
And we will see where Jason Bean is in terms of belief as he comes back on the field when Oklahoma finishes whatever this drive turns into. Line drive kick by Greaves, and Freeman walks away from it without signaling, over his head or otherwise. Who watched the Big Ten last week, you know what I'm talking about. It's a learning experience. In the rain, in Lawrence, Oklahoma. Saturday is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. For the stay, Kansas, Oklahoma, and the old Big 8 days. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship 35 years ago. Larry Brown, Danny and the Miracles, 31-18 for Danny Manning in that championship game, and they won't see each other in football for a long while, possibly, after this year with Oklahoma moving on to the SEC.
This game's got old Big 8 vibes with the amount of run from both sides.
Thank you for not comparing my glasses to Larry Brown's. That was only an off-air trick. Dylan Gabriel handing it off for Walker, who drives for 2, and that's all he'll get. Kansas showing a little passion defensively, pushing him back.
Well, you're also seeing a little bit of adjustment from both sides. Both defenses do not have many answers in the run game. A little bit of pre-snap movement from the D-line, and these linebackers coming up and feeling much quicker than they did in the first half.
Oklahoma a yard shy of 200 on the ground this afternoon. Gabriel on the design run, and Dylan Gabriel is hogtied and tossed down like yesterday's recycling by Tommy Dunn, and there's a marker coming in on the play a couple yards downfield.
That might be a late shot right there. These linemen, every once in a while, this was Troy Everett around the pile. We'll see 52. I think that's some of the conversation. To me, not egregious.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 59, offense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. The down counts, third down.
And after the play, too,
Well, I'm glad they didn't call on Troy Everett. He, too, played through the whistle. There's Everett, 52, but they call Bird, 59, with just this late little push. I don't know, man. Sometimes those big guys with all the run, all the noise, all the hitting, that is a tough one through the whistle.
It leads to 3rd and 19. Oklahoma 1 for 5 on 3rd down. How much pressure will Borland bring? It's a 4-man rush. There's a penalty marker in. Gabriel running, and Gabriel stepping through a tackle. He slides, and he's wrestled down by Rich Miller. We'll check the marker. It was right at the line, and it looks like there was a Kansas player in the neutral zone.
Offside, number 36. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Well, good job with those oversized glasses you had of seeing that as well. It's just right here, and that's down the line. You can see once that helmet, that's what that line judge is looking for. Once that helmet crosses into the neutral zone, a free 5 and another opportunity, 3rd still and extra long.
Is on Patrick Joyner, the former Utah State Aggie. 3rd and 14. They have to get to the 33. Here comes Robinson. Gabriel straight ahead out of the pocket, and he is going to be a while short of the 1st down. So it's Booker and Robinson coming together, and the heroes in a half shell like it.
Excellent line stunt here. You're going to see Kansas and Robinson coming free. The inside defender there, Withers, does a great job of taking 2 and helping your buddy create that lane and enough pursuit on 3rd and extra long to get off the field.
Would you say any of these 3rd quarter drives have been a Michelangelo?
Not at all.
First 3 and out for Oklahoma, and that was gruesome. Yikes. They've changed punters over the course of the season, and Kansas will get outstanding field position when we come back to Lawrence. Ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. The fans here today deserve a lot of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It is not warm. Alf is here from Melmac, where the weather is, checking the app, 85 and sunny today.
Those 2 hardy souls have just dug in. I think those 2 most emblematic of this game. Just a big man's game, and who's going to win in the final push?
350 combined rushing yards, and Jason Bean to throw. He launches down the seam. Wide open Fairchild. A big hit in the pass game for the Jayhawks.
Well, not quite the touchdown as he got in Stillwater a couple weeks ago. Same concept, Jason. 2 safeties, 2 deep safeties, and they lose Fairchild. They don't carry right there. And Bean makes the biggest play through the air for either team we've seen this afternoon.
Mason Fairchild from Andale, Kansas, a town of, as he says, we probably got over 1,000. He says it's big news when there are even a couple kids born. It's a small town in Kansas. He has great pride for the state, and you know after a drop earlier, he has got to feel great about that.
And just a 3-man rush for Oklahoma. Not a look that you would think could find a tight end that wide open. But they crease the middle of the field for 38, the longest play of the day.
The safety, Robert Spears-Jennings, came off. He was down after the play. Ishaw is dragged down. Another tackle for loss for Key Lawrence downstairs for Allison.
I've been keeping an eye on Danny Stutzman for Oklahoma. He has not played in this half. His right ankle is heavily tight, and you can tell when he's walking on it that it's bothering him a bit. Now, he does have helmet on, standing on the edge of the field, looking like he'd love to be back out there, but as of now, hasn't quite been able to go. I will tell you guys, though, super vocal on the sideline every time the defense has come over, riling his guys up, reminding them to play with full effort, full intensity here in the second half, but not able to be out there with them right now.
Allison, thank you. You can see it in his eyes. He wants to be there. Oklahoma trying to stay unbeaten Jason Bean rolling to his offhand. It's Neal on the catch. He broke one tackle, and that was Kendall Dolby to finish him off. He got by McKenzie.
Well, been a whole lot more bodies thrown to that line of scrimmage. That first down play was Keith Lawrence. We saw in the previous possession, Woody Washington came on that corner blitz. So Brent Venables and Ted Roof have said, we're not going to sit here for target practice for these guys in the run game. We have got to throw people, and they play a lot of people. That's the one thing for Brent this season. He's got competitive depth. So yes, Stutzman is down, but Kip Lewis has played. Others have played behind these starters all over the board defensively.
And now, how will Kansas use what you call that reality of complexity here on 3rd and 12 to get somebody open? Being short set, Quentin Skinner is cut down at the 11 by Billy Bowman. And now, if you're Kansas, you took a field goal earlier. Looks like they're going to take it here as well.
I think if it was a little bit shorter, Jason, maybe a 4th and 1, you'd think about it. But the way that the defense has played for Lance Leipold, what did he say to us yesterday? What did he learn his lesson? Get the game to the 4th quarter. When you're an underdog and you've played this role, get the game to the 4th and continue to put the pressure on the other side.
So sort of a Barry Alvarez mantra is make it playable for yourself here in the 4th quarter. And obviously they want more than that. They want to win, but you got to get there to try to win it. 4:03 to go. Road test for Oklahoma. Rivalry going on there, but another close game this time. Oklahoma and Kansas. 4:03 to go in the 3rd, and the Sooners will have it after a Kansas field goal. Oklahoma's Big 12 scrapbook. Let's go scrapbooking. 14 Big 12 championships. That's the most all time. They're on their way to the SEC. They have the most Big 12 conference wins. 4 Heisman Trophy winners, couple of them back-to-back recently. The national title back in 2000 as well, as Bob Stoops took over that program. Couple years in, he gets himself a national title, and Brent Venables trying to do the same thing in year 2 here back at Oklahoma after being an assistant here. He's coached in 3 national championship games as an assistant. Gabriel flares it out. Gavin Freeman, who they're trying to get the ball to a little bit more. They love his electricity.
Can they find any way to find some balance with the passing game? So Kansas with a big shot down the field. Dillon Gabriel content to run the football today. Can there be a play-action pass off of all this heavy run?
They're second in the country in play action. That's a little play fake. And they spin it out wide for Freeman again. His 2nd straight touch. They've gone for 11 total. Jeff Levy described him as full tilt when he's on the field. Wide open. Farouk somehow put his hand in the ground, kept his feet, and then got plastered. The ball came loose. That was J.B. Brown who got in there to punch it away, and it is Kansas football.
No whistle on this one, Jason.
Watch, Miller hits him first, then Brown hits him as well, and the ball comes out.
That is textbook. That is bringing the feet. That is what Coach Borland said we have got to do defensively. We have got to finish through that contact. Tremendous hit, jarring that ball loose.
First down, Bean keeps it this time. Wide open green space. Down the sideline, and the track star scores for a Kansas lead. Wow. Get him into space, you said. Feels a lot warmer after that run.
What did you say his 100-meter time or track time was?
Well, look, he says he's a 4.4 guy. His teammates say so, too. Now, they're going to chase 2 very early here, Brock.
Yes and no very early, because the way they possess the ball at times, their third down effectiveness on the quarter over the course of the season, I don't mind this with 18 minutes to go.
Okay, so they snap off the entire offensive line. Are there enough people there in the backfield? Bean to throw. It's low and it's incomplete. He wanted Grimm. He had Grimm, but he misfired.
And he just could not be more wide open. A spectacular leg display with his speed. Single snap.
You saw Devin Neal eye to eye with him. We asked the question before that last possession for Oklahoma, when Jason Bean gets it back, what will the confidence look like after a couple of missed passes? And they let him run.
They did, and that pass was a huge miss. I mean, this should be 28-21. You could not have Luke Grimm more wide open. Once again, the conditions are raw. This is not the easiest to throw in. Dylan Gabriel shown that. You could see the turnovers today a problem. +10 coming in. And Oklahoma, in a game that's been swings back and forth, has now got to gain the momentum back.
Allison asked Dylan Gabriel when we chatted with him during the week what it's like in weather for him. He said, well, honestly, in Hawaii, it felt like every Friday it rained just out of nowhere. So he's played in a lot of it. Couple of cold weather games in college as well. The numbers were not fantastic when we looked at the ones he was talking about. But he's going to have to make a comeback here because of a big turnover.
Yeah, and they used Farouk a bunch as a runner. But this was more about the contact from Kansas there, from Miller and Brown with the sandwich. And a great call from Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, to get Bean on that 200 meters and he could step on the gas.
It started as the 200 meters, then it became the 200-meter hurdle. And look, Jalen Daniels would love to be on the field. He was dressed in warm-ups. He was throwing the ball, but that back is just too much right now. And he had one of the last words for Jason Bean before this game started. Oh, my goodness. Walker just blitzing forward into Kansas blue.
This was the heavyweight response last time. Just line it up and run it right at him until they stop it.
17 straight runs to end the first half for the Oklahoma Sooners, and he is shoved on back. Kenny Logan met Walker. It is a first down. It was only one to gain, and now Logan's going to have to come out. He lost his hat. That's one play. He'll come off. The leading tackler for the Kansas Jayhawks. 3 straight years going on 4. Another run for Walker, and he gets spun around in the air by Grant. Some big licks.
They are, but they're from the safeties, Jason, because that front is once again getting blocked, and these safeties having to come up and clean up.
Look at the movement at the safety spot. A lot of movement before the snap. And it's Gabriel to throw down the middle. It is Stoops. He's in the clear. Drake Stoops is tossed into the red zone.
Well, this is why he's the leading receiver, man. He is so good between the hashes, and watch him right here fight through contact. He's going to fight right there through a grab from Craig Young. He plays through the contact, and then he knows what to do. He knows himself how to go out and get that yak after the catch.
Drake Stoops, who had a bunch of big catches in the second half against UCF last week. All he wanted to talk about with Jeff Lebby after the game was to apologize for a drop that turned into a pick earlier in the game. As you saw Gage Keys down, another defensive tackle hurt for Kansas.
You know, it's one thing for Cooper Kupp at 6'3" and 210 to do all that he's asked to do. There's a good look at Jeff Lebby, the coordinator, right there. Right, we see Cooper Kupp as a fullback and a wingback, and he's blocking, he's doing, and Drake Stoops is doing it all himself. At 5'10" and 185 pounds. Just throws that body in harm's way, gets after it. And not a surprise, once again, when adversity hits, to see whom you go to, that run game and your leading receiver.
Here's a guy who came in less than 9 yards a catch. He was the one guy who hasn't really seen the big play so far this year, as long as 28 before today. And he and Dylan Gabriel like brothers, really, and how much they enjoy each other and how much they bicker. That was a big hit.
And here comes the problematic area for this Kansas defense. Once again, the red zone not stopped many people all season long.
It's a Walker run right up the zipper, and he drags Grant as we go to Los Angeles and Mike Hill. So 26-21, Kansas with the lead over Oklahoma, and with the substitution, the Jayhawks allowed to bring Caleb Taylor on. Nightfall not yet, but with the hour delay, we're closing in. 2nd and 4, Sawchik in, it's a fake to him. It's Gabriel around the corner. Dylan Gabriel slung down at the 2.5.
And look at Drake Stoops. Just talking about him throwing his body in harm's way, and he takes 2. He is in that slot, and watch him come down and just knock his guy into another Jayhawk to set the table.
That was awesome work by Stoops. Sawchik gets the carry, and the ball came out. They've blown it dead. This is a dead ball, and they're going to say, let's see, was he in?
Jason, I believe the line judge came in with his arms up, calling it a touchdown.
Broke the plane in the goal line. It is touchdown.
It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown before the fumble. The near side official signaled touchdown for Sawchik.
Ooh, this end zone down here is seen. That's a touchdown.
Yep, that's the right call.
Absolutely. It's on the ground. That is clearly a touchdown. I don't see any other body part down. The 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year out of the state of Colorado. Only Christian McCaffrey had done that before. The sense for the goal line, the reach, the touchdown.
After a fumble on the second play against UCF, Sawchik gets a bit of redemption here.
How about Oklahoma going for 2, it looks like.
Kansas went for 2 on their last touchdown. Oklahoma trying to make this a 3-point game. They'll flip it the other way, and Freeman looking for the pylon, hurdling, and dumped out of bounds in midair. Kansas fired up. Oklahoma has the lead.
Gap offensively. The Jayhawks have plenty of firepower. They've scored and can score on anybody. Even with the backup Jason Bean playing Oklahoma for the 3rd time. But these final 15 minutes, so much on the line.
Kenny Logan on the approach. Short pick. It's returnable for Logan. He broke 1 tackle, and he surges to the 34-yard line. Eventually, he is down. They blew it dead. Look, they played for the title in men's basketball 35 years ago. It's a game of runs here in football. I mean, 14-0, 21-14, 12 in a row for Kansas. Oklahoma's got the last 6.
Familiar opponents. As I said, the talent isn't what it used to be. It used to be so swung heavily in Oklahoma's favor, but Kansas got a good O-line, great backs, and as we've seen, an explosive quarterback in the open field.
We'll see if Jock Vaughn can hit a big 3 or Eduardo Najarau. There's a run for Neal, and this could be the final.
Feels more like a Stacey King kind of game.
Okay. Now you're just pandering to the Chicago crowd. Well, they're going to run another play here, or at least line up to do so or not. Wouldn't imagine they would, but unless they like the look. Oh, movement at the line, and they didn't snap it. 5 yards were sitting there on a platter. All right, here we go. Bring your sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the next level network. 1-point game, 4th quarter starting, and Oklahoma has put teams away very well in the 4th quarter this year.
A lot of depth, play a bunch of different people. You can run the football at least the last couple weeks in the 4th quarter, last week especially to close it out. This is going to come down to, as Brent Venables said to Allison, can they tackle? Can they get these Jayhawks to the ground consistently?
2nd and 8. They'll hand it to Bean, who rolls to the right. Jason Bean to throw to the sideline, and that's the first catch for Luke Grimm with a marker coming in as well. Kendall Dolby might have been the party.
That ball came out loose. That one was fluttering a little bit, but enough arm strength by Bean. And yeah, I think unfortunately for Dolby.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 15. Defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
He's the guy that made the play on the two-point conversion last week.
And he is super frustrated emotionally right there, but cute little motion before the snap here. They've done a bunch of this fun wildcat. They hand it back to Bean. Look, the spiral's a little bit loose. Grimm comes back to it, and his feet are in the white right there. I mean, once he is in the white, you've got to do the best you can. That sidelines can sometimes scream, man, you got to let go. You got to let go. He throws it to the ground at 15 more.
And now another flag has come in.
Defense. That'll be charged to the bench. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Wow, now it's a frenzy here. Back-to-back 15s.
That is right in front of this student body that's letting Brent Venables and his sidelines, who lose a little bit of composure right there, hear it.
Think about Luke Grimm and what he said to Allison, and Allison reported right before kickoff that with a win today, that would prove our program right. Both tailbacks in, and it's a handoff for Highshaw. Second down coming up. That is the Oklahoma-born and raised from Moore, Oklahoma, in the suburbs of OKC, Daniel Highshaw.
And he's kicking himself because he just loses his footing. We've not seen a lot of that on such a wet, slick day. I think both teams have done an excellent job of keeping their feet underneath them. Highshaw doesn't, just a 1-yarder.
Jason Bean just 4-13 as a starter at Kansas. In for Jalen Daniels once again. In and out of the lineup. Bean down the middle. On the money, Arnold. First and goal for Kansas in the arms of Woody Washington.
This is the play that feels like is there for Daniel Gabriel. If they're going to get to it on their side and run all this inside run and just the post, a vacated middle safety there. An excellent job of using the big body.
Devin Neal wanted the end zone, and there are two guys that have stayed through a lot of strife here at Kansas. Losing seasons, all of that. Second and goal.
Well, they've been to the 5 and they've been to the 11. On the previous 2 red zone trips, this cannot settle for a field goal. Just mindset-wise, from Luke Grimm to Neal to all the rest of them. Mindset-wise, if you're going to beat number 6, you're going to do it scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Cardell, the tight end in motion. Bean saw pressure, throws end zone, and incomplete. It was McCullough that sped up his hourglass.
Well, that's an excellent job by both of those guys. A tremendous call with bringing McCullough right off the edge here. And an even better job of Jason Bean to see it, realize it. I got to get rid of it. In the red zone, everything picks up. I got to find a way to throw an incompletion. Cannot take a sack there.
Third and goal. What would they do on fourth and goal would be the question. Likely take the lead, but you'd love a touchdown if you're Kansas. Bean runs. Jason Bean slides. He slid before the goal line. He could have dived into the end zone, and now he's down and hurt. He took a big hit. It was right there for him. He started his slide, and he's short. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Jalen Daniels cannot believe it. And with so much experience, you've got to know in this situation. We saw on the other side, Sawchuk stuck that ball out. Yeah, it's when you start that slide. And he is short. All he's got to do is put that ball forward. He does not, and now a big decision for Lance Leipold.
Now, here's the thing, though. If you call that a slide, right, and he's given himself up, is that not possibly 15 coming that direction? It's a little bit late of a slide compared to the dive. Dean Blandino, what do you see here?
Exactly what you guys are talking about. As soon as he begins that slide, that's where the spot, that's the end of the play. So once he starts there, the ball is short. Now he's giving himself up. Then you have the contact, which is close, but to me, it's kind of a late slide. Tough for that defender to pull off at the goal line. But right there, that play is over, and that ball is short of the goal line.
That would be forcible contact to the head or neck, right, Dean?
Dean, I see a launch there. I see, right, we got to look at indicators as well, don't we, in a moment like this? I see a defender
looking at
launching.
Absolutely. You have a defenseless player, and so we're looking at, is he leading with the shoulder, which he appears to, but we've got to see forcible contact to the head neck. Does he get him to the side of the head, or does he get him to the shoulder? That's what they're looking at here.
Pivotal call from this replay booth next to us.
So many close calls today already.
Either fan base is going to be furious with whatever is called here. First of all, they're frustrated with Jason Bean.
That angle, I think, is definitive that he did hit the shoulder first. To me, based on that angle, what do you think?
I think it is such an enormous call in this moment, and I know that's not the rule book. The rule book has got to be black and white, and there could be no gray for the moment or the magnitude. I do see, by the letter of the law, a defender that is launching that indicator into him. But you're right. Is it as violent a hit to the head or the neck, or does he indeed hit that shoulder? I know this as well. Jason Bean cannot do that in the moment.
You have to dive for the end zone.
As a sixth-year player with so much experience, you have just got to put the ball. Once it crosses the plane, regardless, you're going to get hit. Once that ball crosses the plane and there was ample room, that should be 6.
And now the Oklahoma defense getting lathered up for a possible 4th and goal from the quarter-yard line.
I have not seen a lot of the tush-push out of this crew. I mean, that is the one weapon that it feels like nobody but Philadelphia has got in their back pocket.
After review, it's been determined that there is a foul for targeting on number 21 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. It'll be first down.
Wow. So Reggie Pearson is done. He is disqualified from the game, and it is 1st and goal for Kansas. That's the 3rd personal foul on this drive alone for Oklahoma.
That is a tough call, and as I said, either fan base was going to be furious either way. The one thing I would say for that replay booth is, in that situation, Pearson, once you get in that position and once you put that head down and once you launch into that offensive player, you leave open the opportunity for the boot to make that call.
That's the distance. It is a hair. Highshaw. Touchdown, Kansas.
Jason, they have this piece of equipment you'll see with running backs, and it looks like something, I don't know, from the Stone Age, where they run through a gauntlet of all of these pads, and you've got to run right through it in order to get through that piece of equipment. That's what that was. That was shoulder pads on either side of him, and his leverage and his strength plowing right through for the touchdown.
That's now 14 scores in his last 13 games for Highshaw, who missed the bulk of last year with hip trouble. And now they'll go for 2 again. Both teams have chased 2 all around the ball yard in the second half. Bean throws to the goal line and incomplete. He wanted the tight end Cardell. The ball was right on him.
Wow, there was a lot of contact. Every one of these plays and every one of these calls is going to be so scrutinized. That time you actually saw Bean try to throw it early. But unfortunately, Cardell could not.
50 years. The ground games have owned the day so far. 4 rushing touchdowns for Oklahoma, 3 for Kansas. The Jayhawks have retaken the lead, and this basketball school might have today, in 12 minutes and change, one of its biggest football wins in a long time.
They have not beaten a top 10 team in this building since 1984. They have not beaten this opponent, period, since 1997.
Oklahoma off the pop-up kick, and this ball is down on the ground, and a fight for it near the sideline, and let's see. Let's see.
What a call, Jason.
Everybody in blue says it's ours. Whose is it? It's Kansas football.
is a defensive end that you are kicking this ball to. D-end outside linebacker Marcus Stripling on a wet day, a cold day. You can see his feet. The uncertainty, you put him in a position to try to catch this ball on this day. That is a tremendous call from Lance Leipold and his staff. It's hard enough for a receiver in these conditions to bring it in, to have the awareness, to pooch it to a defensive end, and then look at the scrum as they all go for it. Losing their minds.
Total shock. In the rain, in the raw conditions, it was Cornell Wheeler who recovered the muff by Stripling.
What a call. And what execution, and Brent Venables knows it. He knows the hidden yards that are involved in games that are so critical to him. And for that kicker to execute, Lance Leipold is like, what in the world are we discussing now?
And officials over on the far sideline.
Jason, that's not an onside kick, and we've seen those, Dan Lanning in particular last year, with a brilliant call. But the execution of that kicker to put it right on the guy, to try to find somebody in a position of difficulty. Wow. And once again, 3 huge turnovers for a team number 2 in America at +10 coming into this game.
Only Penn State was better entering play today in turnover margin. Kansas threatening to really stress undefeated Oklahoma. On the ground, Highshaw to the short side. He's got an alley. There's a marker in. It's a touchdown for now.
Oh, Lance Leipold's going to be mad.
Holding number 55. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's Armaje Reed Adams.
And he is their most physical, violent dude. And he is your guard right here. What a call into the short side of the field. But a takedown right in front. Wow.
What do you got on that?
I think you just got to try to let go, but that is tough. Woody Washington doing his job of turning. But yeah, once you grab and once you pull, that back judge sees those indicators. The flag comes.
It's a run. It's Neal chopping his steps in. He's twisted down. Lawrence was in there first. Second down for Kansas. They would take a field goal, certainly. It would make it an 8-point game, but not a 2-score game.
No, and you're kicking into some funky wind that way. The other way, a little bit easier to kick in warm-ups. This wind continues to swirl. Again, if you're going to take down number 6 and you're going to create takeaways, you have got to find ways to finish this kind of field position.
Jason Bean changing the play. Play action, rolling, step back, freezing, and throwing for the end zone for Neal, and it's incomplete. Kip Lewis on the coverage. He's been in for Stutzman, and it's 3rd and 15.
And he misses Lawrence Arnold. I know the play was designed to go to the back, but he had a post route to Lawrence Arnold, the big receiver, in a one-on-one. I am surprised he didn't just plant his foot. This is an easier throw than a back on a wheel. Plant your foot and throw it now. Look at all that grass. There's no safety. That is one that I am surprised. Once again, the 6-year veteran gets that one-on-one. Put it up to your big receiver.
Kansas 1 for its last 6 on 3rd down. It's a very conservative call, and Highshaw is thrown backward by Lewis, who has been outstanding in place of Stutzman.
What a response.
And now Highshaw is down and grabbing his leg.
Once again, Key Lawrence is right in the mix there. The safety first and foremost at the point of attack. The rest follow, and you hate to see this from a young man that has battled significant injuries back-to-back years. But Key Lawrence keyed that stop. Good to see him hopping off of the field, and now this field goal gets really tricky, Jason. Seth Keller, a long this year of 44. That was at Nevada in conditions nothing like this. And as I said, at least in warm-ups, This was a more difficult end to kick to.
Also, he is a low line drive
Yes.
kicker. He had a 2-point conversion block 3 weeks ago against UCF, and so that's available. Peyton Bowen has blocked a couple of kicks for Oklahoma this year himself. From 42 for an 8-point lead for Seth Keller. It is on the way, and it is no good. Oklahoma stands tall. Kip Lewis gets a low 5 from Brent Venables. The Jayhawks can't take the 3. It leaked on Keller, and Oklahoma, undefeated, gets it back next.
Top of the world.
Be a sub above, 1 possession game, and it's all about the ground today.
What a response from Walker today. Absent a week ago. There's just been a workhorse, so many of those between the tackles, but this feels like Dillon Gabriel time.
Walker is back. He was being worked on the sideline, came out for the last drive. But Dillon Gabriel, top 10 in the country in completion percentage, accounts for about 3 touchdowns himself per game. That's top 5 in the country. And he loads up to fire right down the middle. That's on the money. It's Nick Anderson, the big play threat. And for Anderson, his first catch today on a string of 5 straight with a touchdown.
Well, that's got to be one of the few that was thrown with about 15 to 20 air yards, and it was thrown right on the money. These are the moments as a fifth-year senior quarterback that you live for. You elevate everybody around you. It's winning time.
For Dillon Gabriel out of Mililani High School in Hawaii. Recommended to UCF by Mackenzie Milton, who was also from there. On a handoff, it's Walker, and he's stonewalled by Logan.
Once again, that is your safety. That is your safety that is meeting that play at the line of scrimmage. Yet again, another indicator that if you want to fake that and you want to throw that post, you want to throw it over the top. Coordinator Jeff Levy has been very conservative with that, willing to continue to pound the football. But look at these safeties right here. They have been the one cleaning it up. There is a shot to be had in the final 9 minutes.
Stoops in motion. It's a run. It's Javante Barnes. He had to break 1 tackle, and then Berryhill finally spikes him down. It'll be 3rd and long. And now Grant goes down. Marvin Grant, one of the safeties, is hurt and stretching. And they will stop the clock.
Yeah, it was Logan once again. He is down on the line of scrimmage. And he is sore puppy himself coming into this game and beat up most of this season. But he is right here, man. He is deep, and watch him. He is 12 yards deep, but he is going to trigger all the way to the line of scrimmage. And while he missed the tackle, Jason, he slowed that run down enough that his buddies could clean it up.
Lance Leipold said to us yesterday, if anybody will be ready for this game, it will be Kenny Logan Jr. He had the massive pick 6 against BYU. He's led the team in tackles 3 consecutive years.
And not a surprise during that timeout. Who did Lance Leipold go and talk to? Kenny Logan. You got 9 minutes, kid. You got 9 minutes to do something that has not been done this century, and that's beat Oklahoma.
Was Oklahoma's last loss to the Kansas Jayhawks. 3rd down and 6, Dillon Gabriel. It's a design run, and he is driven down. Berryhill hugged him down to the turf.
That is just a conservative call once again. I know the QB run is successful. The punt team is going to come on. There are just areas to throw. All the eyes are right there at the line of scrimmage. And an excellent job by Keys and company, but man, is there some green grass that right now Brent Venables in Oklahoma is not throwing into.
You know, you could argue for going for it on this 4th and 4 here. They won't. They're going to go ahead and punt, but Kansas again is prone to taking time off the clock and running the football. Brent Venables wagering on his defense. Elzinga to Grimm, and Luke Grimm will have it from the 12-yard line. 8:12 to go.
And a defense without Stutzman, a defense without Pearson,
Tomorrow, Another full day of NFL football on Fox. Matthew Stafford and the Rams against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, or the Browns and the Seahawks, or other regional action. Check your local listing for the games in your area. It all kicks off tomorrow on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Unbeaten Oklahoma in peril on the road. 8 and change to go. Jason Bean at the controls on a handoff for Devin Neal, and the young man who wanted to rebuild this program, growing up here in Lawrence, going to Kansas basketball camps. It would be the first win against Oklahoma and a farewell to the Sooners from the Big 12 since 1997.
And a 5-point lead with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
Now look, his head coach, Devin Neal's head coach, Jason Bean's head coach, Lance Leipold, said we want to get into the fourth quarter and see what happens. Devin Neal told us last time we were here he doesn't want those fourth quarter moral victories anymore. Looking for a first down as Brent Venables wants a 3-and-out badly here.
Well, there was 10 Sooners within 4 yards of the football right there. So I think Brent Venables and Ted Roof have said, if you're going to beat us, Bean, you're going to do it through the air. We are going to throw everything at this line of scrimmage and make Jason Bean make the plays to beat us, either with his legs, try to keep him in containment, or use that arm on the biggest 3rd and 6 of his life.
He has not made that big mistake in terms of a turnover. No picks for the Oklahoma defense that has double figures interceptions this year at 12. 3rd and 6 for Jason Bean to throw. It is intercepted. Billy Bowman. Unreal.
What did you just do?
It was the Oklahoma defense that did what it always does. Ball hawk off a deflection from Dolby.
Well, what a tremendous job right here from Kendall Dolby. A relentless, the #1 JUCO corner in America. You can't do it better than that. In tips and overthrows, we got to have those. And that's exactly why they've taken the ball away in numbers this season. Holy smokes.
Second in the country, 12 interceptions coming in. There's number 13. It's a short field, and Brent Venables spun the wheel, and it landed right on his defense. Devontae Barnes, the tailback, switching direction. Berryhill was in there. It'll be 2nd down coming up.
Well, this has got to be run, run, run. Either running back or Dylan Gabriel feels all the commitment.
Kansas again moving defensively on the snap, and it will be 1st down and goal off the run from Barnes. And Oklahoma's feeling it right now.
They will line right up.
And Berryhill's down. Taiwan Berryhill Jr. is down. Another Kansas Jayhawk defender injured. And now he's back up quickly.
There is just some grit to this Oklahoma team in 2023. Those scars from a season ago that they all felt in a difficult season, man, it has made them. And I know there's new pieces, and I know there's 17 transfers to the program. But this is such a grittier, mentally tougher team than the boys we watched a season ago.
You said it earlier, feels a lot like TCU. Gabriel head down, seeking the end zone. He's jostled around. The offensive line, Matoyer wants the touchdown. He won't get it. It'll be 2nd and goal. Oklahoma content to just go gas pedal to the floor with the run game.
You know where this ball is going.
On the ground, Dylan Gabriel is in through Miller. What muscle from Dylan Gabriel.
You know what I call that, Benetti? I call that Polynesian power. That's what I call it, because Kenny Logan is right here. He's made so many tackles today, and he is right in position. But Dylan Gabriel runs through 1, he carries 2, and once again, pick everybody up around you. That's what the best do in the biggest moments.
He went home to Hawaii in the offseason. He said he was totally unsettled, and he knew that it had to start with him trying to fix this and make Oklahoma what he and everybody wanted it to be. And Dylan Gabriel in the end zone with his legs for the 3rd time. Now they go for 2.
Oops.
Fake it to Sawchuk. Stoops was flowing that way. This is back of the end zone, incomplete for Anderson. And Kansas down a single point, but another turnover that has a massive impact on this game. Jason Bean on third down. Deflection, pick for Bowman. 6 just after by Dillon Gabriel. Oklahoma leads again.
Now this is an upgrade. And away we go. Hey, what's up?
State Farm is there. And by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. Last time Kansas beat a top 10 team here in Lawrence. 1984, Troy Aikman and the Sooners went down on 4 field goals from Dodge Schwartzberg.
He's watching somewhere.
I mean, 63-yard pick 6 as well. 28-point underdog ends up winning that game. Kansas off the interception by Bean, trailing now again. Kenny Logan on the return, trying to stay healthy defensively. And he throttles down at the 25. So now Jason Bean, who had to fight for his job at quarterback in 3 separate places, right? In high school, at Lake Ridge in Mansfield, Texas. He lost the job, got it back, lost the job, got it back. Went to North Texas, lost the job a couple times, separate quarterbacks. Here, Jalen Daniels was the QB1. Bean takes over with the injury to Daniels, and now can Jason Bean redirect himself and get Kansas down the field for a winning score? There is Daniels over on the sideline. First down for Bean. Play action. He sets. He looks. He rolls. He throws. It is Devin Neal with his shoe in the ground twice. And Neal belted forward for a first down.
I think what Andy Kotelnicki, the coordinator and play caller, has got to do is exactly this. Don't let Jason Bean have to sit and process and overthink it. Let him just get on the playground. Get him on the move. Nobody down the field. Look at all the space around him, and then he can spit it out. Just get him playing and reacting and not thinking in the final minutes.
And what does that look like?
Just like that, play action, movement. Get him in space.
It's Neal trying to carve this way, and he'll get about 4. Desan McCullough, who's been big today with a stop.
That dude is like a raptor. He is so long, McCullough, and flies around the field and is going to be such an absolute force for years to come for Brent Venables.
He was hurt earlier in the year. Now he's started the last 5 for Oklahoma. Down to 4 minutes to go in a wild ball game all day long. Bean looks to the signs. They are partially covered from view on the near side. It's another run right into the teeth of the defense for Devin Neal, and a huge third down coming up for Kansas. And that has been the down that was foundational for them. Talking to Luke Grimm, Mason Fairchild yesterday, he said we started a couple years ago, third down. Got to get better on third down. Well, here's one for your game. Third and 4. Bean loads up and fires into traffic, and it's incomplete. Skinner was the target. Kanai Walker with the coverage.
That, again, is so good on the perimeter. How hard is this, Jason? When you're out in the open field, look at this. It is a one-on-one. So much. How many times do we see DBs just panic, and they'll reach, and they'll grab, but they won't time it up as beautifully as he does here. And it's a big 4th and go from Landslide Poles.
3 timeouts left. It's not necessarily game over if you don't get it, but it really hurts. Jason Bean to the outside. It's there for Grimm. First down, Kansas. Kansas.
That is just a perfectly schemed play. You're going to see the traffic come in and give Grimm an opportunity. And because there's no press, there's no contact, there's no offensive pass interference. Well done.
Beat again, nearly intercepted. Key Lawrence had his mitts on the ball, and he was thinking about 6.
Wow. I don't know how. Well, you didn't Jedi mind trick at this time. I don't know. I mean, look at this. Jason Bean is just not reading the field.
Oof.
That is a smash corner. He's got the hitch wide open, and Keith Lawrence's eyes say it all. That ball shoulda, woulda, coulda been mine.
That's the thump you hear is the collective Kansas Jayhawk heartbeat. Coming out of the chest. 2nd down and 10. It's another throw. It's Bean staggering and firing, and incomplete for Grimm. Key Lawrence on the coverage again.
And there's that post route we talked about earlier, but it was to Skinner earlier. This time, Grimm, the slot receiver, and the ball just thrown so high and behind. No chance for Grimm to even get back to it to get the possible pass interference call.
Is there a play you can draw up that gives Bean the chance to use his legs here on 3rd and 10?
Well, we heard about all the trickeration that they's in the playbook. An extra bye week. If you've been sitting on something, now might be the time to pull it out.
It's motion from Neal. 3rd down for Bean. He pump fakes and he throws an interception. Ethan Downs rips it off for Oklahoma. The battle is on. It is still raging, and it's on the sideline in the arms of Downs. And so, for now, is Oklahoma's undefeated season.
You're trying to sell and get this crazy man up the field, because that's what he does. Hair on fire, but he sees it. He feels it. He's got the awareness of a screen pass happening. And once again, Jason Bean puts the ball in harm's way. Had been so good for 50-plus minutes of this game, not doing it. But that time, he does not read Downs. Downs reads him, and you couldn't do it textbook any better.
It's Ethan Downs who this week described the breakdowns defensively as eye crime, that he wanted to stop committing. He may just be the getaway car in Lawrence.
The awareness that takes in that moment, Jason, is off the charts.
Now 3 timeouts for Kansas, and a relentless run game in hand for Oklahoma. 266 on the ground today. It's a handoff, and it's Barnes, and he is bottled up. It's a loss of 1. Timeout number 1 for Kansas. Last year, their last 4 losses in the season were all by 1 score for the Oklahoma Sooners. This year, the escapability has been brilliant.
I said grit earlier. Just that mental toughness and fortitude to keep on swinging. It was 3 giveaways, but you came back and now you've taken it away 3 times to even and level that playing field.
You know, you think about where that trickles down from, and it's the head coach,
no question,
Brent Venables, out of Salina, Kansas. And we talked to him this week about what he draws inspiration from, and it's his mother, who he lost a couple of decades ago now, his mom, Nancy, who worked odd jobs. I mean, painting and drywall. She worked on a chinchilla farm, and he said, look, she was just always working odd jobs to try to provide. Venables said, look, I walked everywhere basically as a kid and climbed over fences, whatever I had to do to get to play football, to get to do what life could provide me, I did, and it comes from her, and this game kind of embodies that for him. Still time left, though. 2nd and 11, a run for Gabriel, and he is crumpled down in a heap by the ankle, and it's Cornell Wheeler who got a handful of him. 3rd down, timeout. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. It should take about 9 minutes to recap this thing. So many wacky plays.
I think it started about 7 hours ago, and it has been chock full of one team swinging and the other responding. One team swinging, the other responding. Kansas jumped out early, 14-0. Here come the Sooners. 21 points right back at you. Basically the run game saying, hey, come and stop me. And then it was Kansas with the takeaway, the explosive play from Jason Bean, and he thought, okay, maybe this can happen. And then Oklahoma responds with 2 interceptions and takeaways. And the Polynesian power to drive into the end zone. And then Ethan Downs, a lot of big plays this season for the number 6 team in the country. But right now, none bigger than that awareness to create the pick.
And leave Kansas's defense in a do-or-die situation. 1 timeout left for the Jayhawks.
You want to throw it? I do.
I think so, but they're not going to. It's Javante Barnes, and now, with this 4th down coming up, if you're Venables, you could make an argument to go for this here.
You could make, I think, a better argument to pin him deep, but the way your defense is responding with Jason Bean struggling with back-to-back interceptions, you go for it, you're going to give them the ball here at the 35. You cannot, to me, attempt a field goal from Zach Schmidt, a long this year of 46 in these conditions.
And that's his career long, too. There's nothing longer than that before. The field goal is not an option. I agree with you.
There, he's talking to the O-line. This may be trusting that group right there and trusting Dillon Gabriel rather than gaining 15-20, new punter as well, right? Just last week you've had some ups and downs at that position as well. So ultimately he's going to trust Dillon Gabriel in this moment.
I mean, Elzinga's been very good at putting balls inside the 20-yard line so far. But
this got to be run pass. You got to put the game on number 8. If you're going to make this decision, put it on number 8, run pass option where he could possibly run it, or finally deliver and win, because you know Kansas is going to commit people to stop this run. Look at them all 11 guys within 6-7 yards of the line of scrimmage.
4th down and 7.
Oh boy,
that's a false start. It's on Anderson.
False start, number 4. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Now it's a punt, right?
Yes.
Kobe Bryant said, I got you. The talkative, boisterous, competitive corner for Kansas pinpoints Anderson. Now let's see. 4th and 12. Yeah, they will go ahead and boot this away.
This game is crazy.
And continues to be. Elzinga to Grimm. Grimm watches it fly into the end zone. That's a break for the Kansas Jayhawks. Last 3 drives.
Implicitly, the one thing about Jason, and you talked about the twists and turns of his career, is overcoming adversity. When a bad play happens, the ability to flush it and move on. But at times, unfortunately, over the course of his career, a bad play leads into another bad play. That cannot happen right now. Ample time. There's 2 minutes. Clock is going to stop under 2 minutes like it always has done in college football. More than enough time to move the ball down the field.
After a long and winding road, the 2-minute drill of his career, and Jason Bean in space where they want to get him. It's a 1st down run.
Doesn't he just have to run?
Yes.
Aren't you almost saying to him, Jason, 1-2 run? And if it is not there, right, and it is not open immediately, then go do what Dillon has done a bunch today. Go create with your legs, because they're electric in the open field.
Here's a young man, Jason Bean, who was in the transfer portal from January to June one year when he came here to Kansas. Didn't have a whole lot of options, and now he holds a big upset in his hand as he whistles it to Fairchild, who had nobody in the zip code, gain of 17.
Yeah, Oklahoma, a bunch of them were left looking at the sideline, the defensive line. Look at all these guys. They're just like not even lined up, hardly get their cleats in the ground. And a bust there in coverage. And I think I say to Mason, hey guys, you're acting like there's 30 seconds left. Stay in bounds. Go get what you can. There's still 1:53 on this clock.
And you wonder if a field goal is even an option for Kansas unless you close into the 20-yard line.
That 42-yarder did not have the distance the last time kicking this way.
Bean again sets to throw.
Run.
He throws on the go, and it's incomplete.
You can see Oklahoma's front. They're looking screen like Ethan Downs did on the previous possession with an interception. They're looking to keep him in the pocket. They're not rushing him hard, Jason.
So what's the play call to counter that if you're Andy Kotelnicki?
As what I just yelled.
Run.
Yeah, go escape the pocket. Go threaten that defense. Go distort some of that coverage. But sitting between the tackles is not where Bean is most effective.
From the eye of the Jayhawk here in Lawrence. It's a run. It's Devin Neal, and he's got about 2.5. Clock is moving. That's not the big problem right now. The down marker is.
Where is Mason Fairchild? It's such a security blanket at times for Bean.
Here is Jason Bean to run, and he is snuffed out by Kip Lewis, who has been outstanding in place of Stutzman.
And here's the game.
4th down and 6.
Don't need to rush. You've got to make sure you get to the right ball.
This much improved Oklahoma defense. 4th down and 6 for Jason Bean. Game on the line. It's there. Lawrence Arnold in the clear inside the 10. Unbelievable.
And as tight as this coverage has been, Jason, and it has been so good. The knockaway and the tip, body on a body, and that time you get turned around. He turns around, Kenai Walker. He loses eyes on that route. So much cushion, so much room for Bean to deliver. And they are losing their minds in Lawrence.
Because of Lawrence, Arnold, who decided to stay even though he tested the waters in the portal. Now a minute to go, 2 timeouts for Oklahoma. Kansas with Neal, touchdown! Lawrence's own gives Kansas the lead.
They let him score, Jason. I don't think there's any question the decision was made with 2 timeouts right there to let him score. And they left some time on the clock. Watch the defensive effort here, Jason. Sometimes you question it, but I don't see people really striving and straining, and you can see Key Lawrence right there. Go. Don't go make that tackle. You make that tackle at the 2. We got to burn a timeout, and they get a chip shot field goal. Instead, you give yourself an opportunity, and what a critical 2-point conversion. Have we said that 8 times today?
It feels like it. Jason Bean on a handoff for Highshaw. He's driven back. Bean, I think, wanted the football a la Caleb Williams. It's a 5-point game, and it will take a touchdown for Oklahoma.
There have been multiple 2-point conversions on both sides. And once again, that group up front, unlike the touchdown where they were going to let him score, there was nobody going to allow that kind of freedom. Once again, you see one Sooner trying to make a tackle. I think that was Kenai Walker. The better look was Key Lawrence saying, no. Absolutely not. Don't tackle him and make us use those timeouts. We got a better shot with 2 timeouts and blowing my mind.
Think about the day for Jason Bean himself. Couple of picks. Big touchdown run. 4th down throw. You're happy, you're sad, it's back and forth, and just the whipsaw effect now lands in Gabriel with Lawrence ready to absolutely go Vesuvio. Will you kick deep?
Yes.
Baruch back to receive. Tabor Allen drives it. All the way back to the 6. To the short side. And it'll be 50 to 49 seconds for Oklahoma, and Dillon Gabriel, with the pocket collapsing on the final play of this drive, got them in to win Red River.
Yep, been there and done it before. That's got to be the mindset. 2 timeouts in the back pocket. If we did it against Texas in this also wildly savage game, you've got to have the confidence to do it again. Now, is it 85, 90 degrees and sunny? No. Has he only thrown it 13 times today? Yes, but he's going to have to throw it now. Look at the difference with the safeties. They were all lined up within 5 yards, and now they're 15 yards deep.
Oklahoma's unbeaten season in the balance. Gabriel spits it out wide, and no chance to catch and run for Barnes as a marker in.
That's going to be a hold, I believe, on the right guard.
Holding, number 72. Offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's McCade Matayer, the right guard. Once again, a line stunt. So now, play those deep safeties. Now, get into those pass rush stunts, and you can see McCade here just reach out and have to grab an obvious penalty when you just can't have it.
A football field in penalties for unbeaten Oklahoma. 1st and 20. Gabriel felt the pressure and threw it wide, incomplete. That was Jeremy Robinson caving the pocket in.
Yeah, this OU O-line has spent the whole day doing what? Putting their hand in the ground and pounding the football for nearly 300 rushing yards. Now, you have got to get into protection mode. These 5 have got to communicate the stunts that are going to be coming and give Gabriel an opportunity.
2nd and 20. Dillon Gabriel, he's got Stoops, and he's got space. Stoops is just short of that line to gain. They've got 2 timeouts, and the clock is moving.
Well, I think you got to call timeout.
And they finally do. 3-4 seconds came off the clock there. And that ends up being around 20% of the game left.
Jason. 1984.
Last top 10 win here.
1997.
Last win against Oklahoma anywhere.
Wow. 21 ticks away. Let's see what the clock here when Stoops goes down. I think there was, as you see Jeff Levy, was there thought that maybe he gained the first down and the clock was going to stop regardless. You have got to be on point. They do add 3 more seconds back.
Yeah, they're going to put it back. So now Jason Bean, who has been on a ride for years in college football, 6 years of college football, bouncing from Denton, Texas to here in Lawrence, Kansas, and pinballing back and forth through emotions in just 59 minutes today. Can he have been the guy to finally beat Oklahoma?
Safeties have to be deeper than the deepest. Your underneath has to tackle, and you're trusting your front 4 to impact the pocket.
3rd and 1 for Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel launches near side, and a flag comes in. It is caught. Brennan Thompson brings it in. It's a 40-yard gain if it stands.
Oh, that's going to be on Lassiter. He makes early contact. I don't think there's any question. You're going to take this completion. Lassiter just loses total sight of the ball.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is the completed pass, first down.
And Gabriel does the right thing. Just give my guy an opportunity to go make an explosive play down the field. A little bit of a push right there, a little bit of contact. But the right call and a terrific throw.
Just his 3rd catch as a Sooner for Thompson. The Texas transfer has Oklahoma in position.
That's the play you needed.
Gabriel throws it out wide. It's Barnes down the sideline, and they're inside of 10 seconds.
You had to have an explosive play. You had to have a chunk play. Gabriel on a windy day to keep that ball in bounds. Brent Venables knows you're the only way, if you're Kansas defensively, that you could lose this game was to give up a huge 40-plus explosive. They do, and now we got 8 ticks left and just 23 yards to pay dirt.
Gabriel, time ticking. He throws incomplete. They'll have one more look at the end zone.
That was a three-man rush getting home.
It was Robinson.
Tyler Guyton screaming at his right guard. Battaglia to help. And Lance Leipold is screaming at his defense to knock this thing down.
A program-changing win in the balance. Third down and 6. Unbeaten Oklahoma has a timeout to use.
Oklahoma has called their third and final charge timeout.
We do Big Noon. Crazy things happen.
Baylor, TCU last year.
Hip-to-toed in a hurry a season ago.
And this team that you feel like Oklahoma has that sensation of TCU and just figuring out ways has one problem to solve and a lot of issues with 3 seconds to go. Distance is an issue.
Jeff Lebby is going to look at that same defense. I don't think they're going to change it. I think those two will probably hardly be able to watch the play uncoil. But what you're going to see is 8 Jayhawks. They're going to rush 3, and they're going to keep 8 of them from the 5-yard and back. And trust that their speed and their awareness can knock the ball down, or Jason go up and make a tackle. So Brent Venables, coordinator Jeff Lebby, you know the look that's coming. Do you have one more play up this special season to go get 6?
One more word to Sawchik for Gabriel. No timeouts. Here we go. Dylan Gabriel. Pete got there. His throw to the end zone.